You dug for dust and heat, watched the rig lights blur. Coins came slow through stone, and the bills came first to hurt. But I found a different road, where the Lord can pay its way. Stack the cards, set them free, let the uptime earn the day. GPU autopilot on, turn the idle into gold. Every slot stays moving, every cycle stays sold. And I hear the numbers climb when the airflow starts to sing. What was sunk in mining pain comes back like everything. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. Red Panda Mining said, watch the old game bend. When the market turns the wheel, you need a smarter end. No more praying to the pool, no more waiting on a block. Let the clients book the hours, let the ledger tick and talk. And the trolls in the vast discord talk their noise all night, but the receipts keep talking, and the math looks right. You can laugh at every doubt, let them shout into the dark. I'd rather roam the steady stream than chase one lucky spark. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. When the hashes fall to silence, I don't miss the race. I see tenants fill the calendar, I see green in every space. From the rack to the return, that's the song I choose. Not a gamble on a miracle, just a business that can you grow. Rent the cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. Rent the cars, let them run, make it move, make it hum. GPU rental line by line, better margins every time. Cars, let them run, profit climbs one by one. GPU rental here to stay, mining's long and fading away. You dug for dust and heat, watched the rig lights blur. Coins came slow through stone, and the bills came first to hurt. But I found a different road, where the Lord can pay its way. Stack the cards, set them free.
Hello, hello, hello. Of course I was muted. I forgot to turn on one of my lights. Give me 1 second.
Be a Saturday night. Something wrong.
There we go. All right. Wife just said, wouldn't be a Saturday night if there wasn't something wrong. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well. I am trying to get a little organized. Got a little bit of a late start getting ready. And then, of course, I needed to reboot my computer because it had been acting a little quirky today. And it needed an update, of course. So apologize about being a few minutes late. You know, it wasn't as late as Panda, at least, you know. He was much later this morning. So, you know, what are you going to do? All right, well, let's see who is here. We have the hobbyist who is here. He is first. Dang. What was the timestamp on that one? Let's see. We have, you know, I got to pop this guy out. Let me pop that out because way over there, I cannot read it. Could kind of read it, but I didn't want to read it. We got Red Jasper Kane 1730. Howdy, back to you as well. Feeling blessed. Croupman is here. He says I suck. By the way, I tell that to my son all the time. So it's a term of endearment to me. So I appreciate that. Deeparsh, hey, how you doing? This is going to be a depressing ass stream. No, it is not. It is not. Well, maybe for some people that don't have GPUs, it might be that, oh, geez, I shouldn't have sold my GPUs. But for those of us that still have GPUs, not so depressing. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like watching your stock portfolio, you know? You watch your stock portfolio go up. It's pretty exciting when it's going up. It's when it starts going back down that's not so fun. Watching tornado chasing near Columbus, Ohio. I haven't heard of him, actually. But yeah, there's been, damn, a lot of storms. We had, this past Monday, we had it was Monday or Tuesday? I forget which day it was, but we had a derecho with tornadoes in it, actually, come through the Chicago area, mostly mid-city south, not north. But yeah, southwest, like along Interstate 80, got hammered. We had a close call. We were in sheltering in place for, I don't know, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. Let's see. We got, or amazing, depending on how you look at it. Got it. Black Hat team is here. Doom Boots, T Done. The old I am late because my computer is updating happens all the time. This was actually, the interesting part about it was it did say it was 7:56 and it said it was going to take 4 minutes. It was a little off. It took like 4.5 because I was like trying to get logged in, and then it was late because I brought up Meld before I brought up Nvidia Broadcast, and that was screwing up, which was taking control of the camera first. So it was a short fix, but yeah. Let's see. Who else? We got Mikey. I don't even know. I don't even want to say that. Mikey like sit. I'll say that. I think I already, yeah, Doom Boots. Feeling blessed is here. Who else is here? Crypto Nitrous is here. RC4HR. Yeah, HR's in the house, so be on your best behavior. Vertax is Nemo. Got it. Yeah, I have sound now. I know that, but thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see. Todd Tebow is here. I know how to pronounce that one at least. Enable's here. I'm doing good. It's the weekend. Going to see a concert tomorrow night, which is fun. Outdoor concert. Cheap outdoor concert. A lot of old 80s music, so that's going to be fun. Bill Clancy, welcome. Core X is in the house. Hello, Mr. Core X. Ontario Miners here. Awfully brave of you to trust Windows ETAs. Yes. It was either that or risk my stream crashing because I was having some issues with my computer. Most of the time, if I do a restart of Windows Explorer, it fixes it, but I was like, I don't want to risk it. Because once I had done that, it had been working fine, but thought better to restart. And then it was like, oh, do I take the update and risk the update? Decided to risk the update. So far, so good. So far, so good. Let's see. And where's Waldo's in the house? So, all right, welcome everybody. And let me check, because the other day I had top chat on and I missed a few people. Let me see if there's anybody that I missed that would have shown up in live chat instead of top chat. I don't think I missed anybody. It looks like everybody. Yep, looks like everybody is here. All righty, sirs. Well, I have at least one guest tonight. Let me check if he is here. In fact, let me do this. Do that. Oh, that's right. I usually put it. Now I'll do this. I'll do what I just did. No, like that. Scoot this over. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. And then, okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. All right, now I got my screen set up the way I want it to. Again, usually have this done beforehand. Beak Beak's here. Thanks. I did not see you pop in earlier, so I did not miss you. I do miss you. And then there's N8R Chip is also here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone. All right, now that I have the screen set up, let me go back and let me set this up. Give me 1 second. Test, that's the wrong one. No. Okay. Yes, you guys can hear us. Can we hear Kroot?
Yo.
Yep, we can hear Kroot. How's it going, Kroot?
All right. Well, where do you want to start about how utterly crazy stuff's about to get?
Well, we'll get there in a second. How was your week?
Well, it was good. Recovering from QuakeCon. So I was there. I was at QuakeCon for 4 days, and I was in Houston before that. So it was good. Good stuff. Heard a lot of.
And anything you want to share with us from QuakeCon?
Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I don't know what you can share. You always say, well, I wish I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, we're absolutely fucked when it comes to RAM. Like, utterly. You remember when I was talking to you and Hobbyist in the beginning of this year, and you guys were all hopeful, and I told you it was going to be really bad and that you were wrong? Well, we were all wrong.
Yeah, hey, yep.
You guys were.
I was wrong. My prediction was wrong. Well, technically, it isn't wrong yet because I said like 9 to 12 months. We're not at month 9. But with that said, I can tell by where we are today that it does not matter. 9 to 12 months out, I will still be wrong.
So you guys were utterly as wrong as you could get. I was still really wrong, which is really terrifying. Because like if you guys were like a little hopeful and you guys were like, yeah, I got my game hopium, and I was like, guys, you don't know what you're talking about. Like it's gonna be bad. It is so much worse than I could have ever imagined. Like the hope that was there post Computex when I told you about in the industry, it's gone. And after talking to a few people on that side of the RAM equation, go buy your RAM now. Like go buy it now. And just pay what you got to pay, because 2027 is to the point where I don't think anybody knows. And like, it'll tie into some other stuff we're talking about, but like, it was wild. The crap I heard, like utterly wild.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why I had been talking to my son, because I had to try to fix his drive, which is unfortunately unfixable by me. If we're going to get anything, we're going to have to send it out. But at the same time, he's like, well, I had expressed like, hey, maybe it used to be a good time to upgrade since we got to reload it anyway. And he's like, I don't know. And then news was already coming out that things were going to get worse. Plus, with where he works, he is very close to the server department, so they were sharing with him, like, what was going on with their prices, and he's like, yeah, it's time to buy in. So yeah, he's gonna upgrade to a 9800X 3D, 32 gig of RAM, but it's a bundle it's like $130 at Micro Center right now, so it's not too bad.
I butt dialed Max the last night at QuakeCon, I don't know, really late, and he saw the look on my face.
Yeah,
and
because he didn't just butt dial me, he video called me.
I did. I literally video called him in the middle of a conversation I was having, and I was like, Max, like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh,
like, you called me, dude. You
like,
called me.
what? Yeah, but I had just heard some stuff, and I was like, oh no, I should talk to him. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about tonight. You lead the flow of the conversation. I got a lot of news to share. I actually scripted up 5 videos while I was waiting for you to get on. So,
oh, nice. I actually had like a whole thing of things I was gonna do today, because I'm like, so before we get into that subject, so I talked about this before. I'd gotten a KVM, and so this one right now is hooked up to my NAS, and it's on my NAS. It's not super helpful, because it's helpful in the fact that if I set it to reboot, I can get into the BIOS from it. So that's kind of cool, but I can't do anything else with it because the GPU is on GPU pass-through, which means I have no video out on the NAS at all. It's headless, completely headless, from a functional standpoint and from having no monitor. So it's a little limited there, but I'd always wanted a 4-port one. And I got this in the mail today, or this week. Got the 4-port Comet X. So I will be doing I'll be doing one main video on this, but I'll be doing another
they sponsor you
video with it. Yeah, they sent it to me. I when I had that one, and I'm like, I really like the way this works. I happen to be going through their website, and they're like, oh, if you're a creator, put information in there. I put the information in, was very specific about what I was looking for and why. And they're like, yeah, we'll send you one. I'm like, cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, hopefully we'll be having some other stuff coming as well. You know about some of it, but I got at least one other thing that might be coming, so we'll see.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. He put in a good word for me, and I just happened to follow up with them shortly after that, so it was a good timing email that I sent. Basically, this particular vendor, I won't say who it is in case something falls through for whatever reason. I don't want to.
Well, it's embargoed. You can't. It's embargoed anyway.
He didn't say that to me.
Oh,
he did not. Maybe because it hasn't arrived yet, and maybe by the time it arrives, it won't be. So anyway, so I am getting some new products that aren't released yet to review. Some of it will be for my son's build, so I'm looking forward to that. My son's totally psyched, because I basically shared the list with him, so he's super psyched about it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'll be doing a video on that as well, talking about the fun that I had troubleshooting that damn drive. Holy crap. I can't tell you how many times I thought I had it. I thought, okay, now I'm going to be able to read the drive and back it up. Nope. Every single time it was like, nope, you think you got it, you don't have it. You think you got it, you don't have it. You think you got it, don't have it. Yeah. Controller is totally screwed, but pretty sure that the chips that have the data on them are probably fine. So yeah. Enable's like, hey Max, next time you get test units, make it 2x. I'll swing by. I don't think that's how it works.
Yo, speaking of test units, I got 3,000 watt power supplies, and I'm surprised we're there. Consumer grade 3,000 watt power supplies for.
I wouldn't exactly call them consumer grade.
I
They're
mean,
workstation power supplies. No matter how you look
well,
at it, they're workstation power supplies. Now,
yeah.
we may be using them as consumers for honestly enterprise reasons, but yeah, I don't think there's anybody putting a 3,000 watt power supply in their personal computer that in their daily driver. It's completely overkill.
Don't make me, because I'll do it.
I'm
I have,
sure
like,
you can do it. It's
I
whether
have
you should
a
do it.
few. I got myself positioned as the power supply guy, so I got to live up to it. So I got a few of them coming. So don't make me do it. I'll put one in.
Doomboon says, "Are you getting ready for the 6090 drop?"
Well, no. No. So listen, if anybody, I'll tell you this, if anybody claims they know anything about the 6090, they're absolutely utterly full of shit. Like, utterly full of shit. The only thing that I think, right, and I'll say this because I've got nothing to hide and I'm not embargoed on anything. If you see GPUs sell out at, I would say in the next 3 months, like if by like Thanksgiving you can't buy GPUs regularly, like if you go to Micro Center and they don't have Nvidia GPUs in stock, I think you'll see something at CES. And I personally think, this is just me personally, I think the time is done for the 50 series refresh. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think we missed the boat on that. So I think it's 6090 or 6000 series or bust. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened at CES. I really wouldn't. But I don't have any concrete evidence of anything. Nobody does. Like, nobody does. And I don't even think people would even have anything on it until like probably around Thanksgiving. And if they did, they wouldn't tell anybody because their jobs would go.
Right. That's I'm starting to come to the realization that I don't think there's going to be anything next year at all.
I don't think you're right. I think there will be something next year. I
think there'll be something. I just don't think it's going to be a 6090. I'm starting to come to that realization. It may be. It could certainly come at Computex.
I would bet
I originally thought, but now I'm really starting to have like, what are they going to have for consumer cards? They have a 65% profit margin on enterprise cards. They have a 40% margin on consumer cards.
They're not going to abandon it. If anything, Jensen will just keep it because he needs to be like. I don't think he gets rid of it. I really don't think like.
I don't think he gets rid of it. I just think he basically puts it off as long as he can. I would
bet you, like, I would be willing to bet. I hate betting, but like, I am very sure. I am very confident. Now this could bite me in the ass, but I'm very confident that we'll see. I think we'll see a new release by Nvidia next year. Now everything could change because everything's changing, but I think the next generation hits next year. Whether it's CES or Computex or GTC.
Do you see how I did that, guys?
I
did that. I let the reel out and just hooked him right into saying what he wasn't supposed to say.
Yeah, you did.
And by the way, I have to give an assist to Doom Boots, who also asked the question in the first place. So yeah. Good job, guys. Good job.
Will you actually go? Will you go to Computex? You think you'd go?
Well, this year was like out of the question. Certainly, yeah. I'm going to think about it. I like the things from what I learned from when you went you got to do a lot more mingling with other content creators because there weren't as many Americans there.
There were a lot of them.
CES.
There were a lot of them.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's not the same as CES. And the other part of it is it's all computer related. It's not consumer electronics, which is much broader.
No, and you definitely get more time with like the people you want to get time with. Now I could be wrong, right? Now I'm starting to wonder if maybe I just wasn't cool at CES. like I just wasn't part of the cool kids group, and Computex Exposed, like it was like the first time like you get in kind of thing.
Mhm.
So we'll see based on how busy CES gets. But definitely, I mean, you know, you got to hang out with a lot of people that you wouldn't get as much time with, that's for sure. And it was a lot of AI. Like it was
Yeah.
all AI. I don't know if you saw the video where Steve and Jay were bitching about it, but it was everything they said and worse.
Yeah.
Which is good for me. Like it was great.
Yeah,
for me.
I've seen a bunch of Jay's videos recently where he's been talking about AI, and yeah.
I was telling him about I was showing him Vast.
Yeah.
He didn't hate it. I mean, you know, he doesn't need to do it, but he didn't
Right.
hate it.
Yeah.
So I met speaking of that, I met Salad this week at QuakeCon.
You met Salad, an actual person Salad.
No, the guy from Salad that we work with. I don't want to say
Jarrett.
his
Yeah,
name.
you met Jarrett. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I met him. Actually, I can say it because I did an interview with him, so that'll go live next week. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Not what you'd expect though.
I understand what you're saying after the stories you told me. Yes.
Yeah. So, well, what's the?
So Doom Boots had asked, "Hey, did you?" Oh, you actually answered that. So yeah, did you get one of the MSRP 3090s?
Buddy,
Yes, he did.
Buddy,
hold on. Before you say anything, you're lucky you're on my stream. He didn't even call me to say, "Hey, do you want me to get you one?"
No, you all don't need them. My cousin literally needs one. He'll never get it, and he can't spend more than $2,000.
I need them.
Buddy, I'll get them for myself before I get them for anybody else.
I'm sure. Anyway,
so
that was one of the questions I did have. So I know QuakeCon is completely different than the other shows, but which did you find that you got the most out of from a business perspective? Was it
QuakeCon.
CES? Was it Computex or QuakeCon?
Oh, hold on. Oh, like since I started trying to be like a real influencer, or like this year?
I'm talking about this year.
Do you mean relationships, the relationships, info, or product?
Well, I mean, all of those kind of go hand in hand. The information, not so much, because they're just telling you information you can't release until they tell you that you can say something about it. So that's while that's interesting, it's not valuable from a channel perspective. But when it comes to product review, product being provided and product reviews, and what was the other thing? Just basically anything related to furthering your channel.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think they're all good, and like they're all good for their own reasons. Ironically, QuakeCon is great for me because I work like right there. So like I double dip for that trip. So it's just like cherry, like I can take time off for QuakeCon and it doesn't count as time off against me because I did a bunch of work. Like I did a bunch of meetings. So like,
so it's in Philadelphia? I didn't know where it was.
No, I work in Dallas. Like I work in Texas for my real job. I've worked in Texas for 20 years. Yeah.
What do you mean you live in Texas?
I work in Texas. Yeah. I work remotely.
I thought you lived in Pennsylvania.
I do.
Well, then you don't work in Texas. You work remotely for a company in Texas.
Yes. So I get to do.
Okay, so you travel to Texas for your job.
I get to double dip. So that's
okay.
Nice.
Got it. Yeah.
But as far as like, if you could only go to one, Computex is the one to go to because not a lot of Americans go, and it's not cheap, and it basically shows you're not full of shit if you go.
Well, you say it's not cheap, but the thing is that when you take the cost of being there, from my understanding, at Computex is less than being in Vegas. And so, yes, the flights are more expensive, but when you take the flights plus the hotel rooms, I thought that they pretty much came out a wash.
Well, that's good. Well, so the flight was way cheaper to Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, Taiwan is cheap. Like Taiwan's not expensive, and a lot of the stuff at night, all the after parties were all paid for.
Right.
That's a good point. I mean, you have to take way more time for well, I guess you don't. I mean,
Mhm.
theoretically, right? Well, theoretically, if you wanted to do CES, like, like if you wanted to just get in, get out, and film stuff, you could go to CES for like 3 days. You can get in and get out. I do it the way I do it is I like set up shop. I like get myself ready. I try to meet people beforehand, and then I like, I just do everything at night, and then I like, I do a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
Like you saw how I do it. So
Yeah.
I give myself extra days, and I know Vegas like the back of my hand, so I can navigate shit way more efficiently than I did in Taiwan. That's for sure. Probably Computex might actually be cheaper.
That's what I was going to say. That's kind of what I was thinking is that, but again, we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit. I think they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, QuakeCon's always more expensive than you think too, and that one's a hard one to get sponsored. Like if I didn't have my work paying for it, QuakeCon definitely would be one of the ones that like is way more expensive. And that's a weird one too, because you're there at a LAN convention, and like I'm not officially working for anybody, right? Like all of my stuff was unofficial in that one. Like you don't like it's really hard to get sponsored for that one because that's a mess. But the FaceTime you get with the brands there is invaluable because the people that are there, there's no one else there. Like the only content creators that were there were me and Robitech.
Oh wow.
Like, that was it. I mean, there were other people that were like doing their own thing, but like the people that actually would meet with the brands, literally just me and Robitech, as far as I know.
Wow.
And
so that to me sounds like that I need to make time for QuakeCon next year.
So David said, I only go to FurryCon. Yo, FurryCon is based in Pittsburgh. And we used to go to when I was in college, we would like put up chairs and like bring some beers in some plastic bags, like homeless style. And we just sit outside of FurryCon and watch people come in and out.
Sure. You realize that he started talking about FurryCon like he knew what it was and he had to change his story because, he knew too much about FurryCon.
QuakeCon smells atrociously. And Corsair gave out these sticks of deodorant and they somehow were worse. Like they should have been called like BO flavor. QuakeCon was atrocious. And the funny thing is these people bring these massive ass setups, right? And the line is ridiculous. And I have so many stories about the line. And nobody plays games. Like hardly anybody plays games there.
At QuakeCon?
Yeah, everybody's like mingling or bullshitting or whatever. It's weird. Like, and for me, it's really weird because I don't know. Like, the only people I know are the brands. Like, I know maybe 3 or 4 people at the event, so I may see them or I may not. But I'm like going by myself. So like usually like I missed a ticket this year, and a guy I met last year, him and his group like gave me an extra ticket. So I was like hanging on to them. But like I wasn't really hanging out with them because like when they would do something, I would go film a little bit or like go talk to a brand. And then I ended up hanging out with them really, like because I didn't know anybody there.
Right.
So like at night we just all hung out. Like I basically like I had an industry pass too because I was worried I couldn't get a BYOC one. So it's a weird event, honestly.
So you didn't bring your own computer?
I did. No, I did. It was the one that Asus sponsored last year, and it made Asus had this thing where you were supposed to like fill out this form, and they would maybe upgrade you if you had parts. And I just did it because I wasn't sure who was there from Asus, and it was 2 of the people I knew from Computex. So I ended up talking to them, and I was like, "Don't upgrade me." And they're like, "Well, do you need something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'll get it from you later. Like, go upgrade somebody else." So like, "Well, can we film your build?" Because it was an all Asus build. So, yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was a good time. Like, it was a lot more AI conversation at QuakeCon than gaming for me, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's kind of what everybody's talking about. If you have anything to do with computers, that's what you're talking about.
I'm telling you. So there's a few brands where like I was like, I got this tech channel. It's got 21,000 subs. I work with all these people, and they're like, yeah, we'll send you a case. And then I was like, well, I also have this AI channel. It's an old crypto channel that has like 6,000 people. And they're like, what do you need? Here's what you got coming. And like, I have boxes of shit coming now
because of your AI channel.
Yeah. Dude, my tech channel is giving me shit. I have probably like, I don't know, 228 gigs of DDR5 RAM coming next week.
It's interesting. I actually, looked at, GPU rental niche, and I was number 4. Panda was either 2 or 3. I think he was 2 if I remember correctly. I forget who was 3. But modern mining was actually number 1, and it's all due to so it was all based on views. They were ranking us on views.
What am I?
I don't know. I didn't look. I saw me and I didn't look any further. To be honest, I was looking to see where I ranked.
Send me this link. I'm curious.
No, it's not even a link. I mean, you just basically. I'm trying to remember, what did I do?
Oh man, Modern Mining made like 2 videos and went like nuclear on it. Good for him.
Well, yeah, one of them is the Jackery one. One of them is when he used a Jackery power station to power one of his like exclusively power one of his AI rigs.
Good for him. That's a good build.
Yeah. So basically, I would think that Jackery probably promoted the heck out of it, which makes sense. Of course, the brand sends you something and they want to make sure that people see it. But I think that had a lot to do with where he got his views from. Because I was kind of like, really? And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. He had that one Jackery. And he puts out great content. I watch all his stuff. So no diss on him at all. I was just like, how does he have more views than Panda? And then I remembered, oh, okay.
Dude, I had some brands tell me some cold shit. Like, I have work to do on my content presentation. Like, I got my positives. Like, it's funny because they were telling me that like the hard thing, you know, the developing the relationship, I'm got down pat. I'm on everybody's list where I need to be. I don't need to sell myself anymore. Now I have to improve the basic shit. Cause like they're like, yeah, you gotta work on your lighting. And I'm like, what, really? And they're like, dude, that's so much easier to do than making people like you. And I'm like, I guess that's fair.
That is true. Yeah, your lighting is pretty atrocious, actually.
Yeah, shut up. But where am I gonna put it? Where am I gonna put it? Like where am I gonna put the lighting? Like,
do you have a desk?
Yeah, like right.
Okay.
Right here.
So buy a light, buy a stand to connect to your desk. What do you think I got mine? This one is on a pole connected to my desk. It's one of those bag lights, basically, whatever you call those things.
Link me later and I'll do it.
Anyway, and then this one is one of those small lights. That's like my fill light, and that's connected to the desk as well.
Yeah.
So it goes up and down with the standing desk. So it works. It's not perfect by any stretch, but I've had other people, like, I've actually talked with a few like YouTube experts. They were trying to sell me stuff, and when they were talking to me, they're like, you're fine. I might make a few changes to your background, but your lighting and everything is good. It doesn't need to be any better. They weren't saying it like couldn't be improved. They were just saying like it's not where your focus needs to be.
No, so when I met the guy from LTT, I don't want to really go into detail who it was. I was hanging out with him for like.
You remember who he was?
No, it doesn't even matter because I don't even remember. But I don't want to say what his position was.
Okay, got it.
But like when we were chilling after the business, they were done talking. I was asking him, and the stuff he told me, it was basically like thumbnail, your SEO score. Like I was like, oh, these are the most important things.
Yeah,
it was kind of surprising.
I mean, I'm sure if you guys have been seeing my thumbnails, I have a system now. It generally has today's was a little bit more unique. Occasionally, I like to throw something a little bit different than what I normally do in my thumbnails. But yeah, I'm trying to keep the background somewhat simple. But anyway.
So, someone said in your chat his name was Jensen. Do you remember the guy that Jensen called poor at Computex? That's a good friend of mine. Did you hear about
poor?
That? Oh yeah, Jensen grabbed somebody's wallet. There's no money in it. Stephen J were talking about it. He's like,
oh, I didn't know about this.
He's like a huge guy in the industry, and he's like the nicest guy. I met him I introduced you to him, or you were Geek, the guy who gave me my start. I don't want to say names or anything, but Jensen signed his wallet and called him poor at Computex.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's like, jeez. I wasn't even there. I had apparently left because I guess I could have met Jensen because like I left and then, but I've heard some nice things about him, which is really weird. From like,
well, I mean, he has
not
to
from Nvidia people.
Right. I mean, he has to be presentable. I mean, CEOs have to know how to,
when you're his level,
kissing babies and
buddy, when you're his level, he could be like Donald Trump and nobody would give a shit.
I don't believe that for a second. You don't think that Elon Musk, with some of the stuff that he's done, his businesses have suffered a little bit because he's kind of pasted himself. They've got to be as general as possible, appeal to both sides, appeal to all people of all backgrounds. Maybe a little less so now, but still, I think the most effective CEOs do that. They stay apolitical, and yeah. Anyway, that's just my
dude.
anyway.
The most effective CEOs turn their consumer level flagship product to a fucking asset class. That's what they do. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
I want to save that because
that was a really like harsh segue, but we'll segue, sure. So yeah, this week Jensen came out and put $500 billion promise towards basically supporting the market. He's working with 6 different investment firms to create basically they're, I don't know what they call them. I had articles up about this. I was reading about it earlier. But funds basically where the price tracks with either H100 or B200, whatever one of those makes in a month, I believe. They haven't done the 5090 yet. But there's talk about that, yes. But right now, the first 2 things is going to be H100 and B200. So I actually worked with AI quite a bit today on a lot of this. And one of the things I was like, should I be looking at this as a hedge? Like if the price of an H100 and a B200 goes down, guess what? The price on my rentals is probably going to go down too, or I'm going to get rented less, one of the two. So should I do that? And if so, how? And they're like, well, okay, so a couple of things. First thing is the way it's priced, it's already priced at a 7 to 8 cent discount. So you're already behind. So if you're on the I'm betting it's going to go down side of things, you're already 7 to 8% on the wrong side of it with the way the product works. So, and then the other thing they said was stay out of it for the first 3 months. Do not invest in it at all for fourth quarter because it's going to have some wild fluctuations. So if you're looking to do it as a hedge, don't do it in fourth quarter because it will have probably very little to do with the market at that point, just because people are going to be trying to play it. And so there's going to be a lot of volatility in those first 3 months, most likely.
You want to, so here's the crazy thing, right? Like, all right. So I called, quick 2-second story. I called Max at like 8 in the morning on, I don't know what day this was, but I was like, you can't say anything. I didn't want him to say anything until I released the video, but it got out. But I called him freaking out. And he basically was like, what did you say? And I was like, these things are an asset class now. So here's the thing, right? If the 5090 becomes an asset class in the middle of a RAM shortage, okay, right? Which means that they're already hard to get, and the RAM shortage is already raising them, right? So like right now, the price is only going up because of RAM. Like I literally I'm doing a price tracking right now. The cheapest 5090 is 4,400, okay? I said 4,000, Max said 5,000. It's certainly looking like Max was right and I was wrong. But we both said last year at this time when they were $2,500, we were like, they're going to go to 4,000 to 5,000. We both agreed on that. Everyone said we were crazy. Now, the fact that we already have this trending upwards, and then anybody who's like, wait, I can buy this thing and it's going to be an asset class. And if I can get it for, 4,400, and if I think this could go to 7,000, 8,000, I'm going to buy it just because it's an asset now. So now you have the AI people fighting with investors.
But remember, you need to be clear on it is that, yes, you are buying an asset, but the actual what's being tracked is what that asset could make in a month. And that's the price of the actual tracking asset. It matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying that just as a full clarification, you're not betting on what the value of the GPU is. You're betting on the value of what it will make in a month.
Yes. But even if it's flat on what it makes, okay? Even if it's flat, right? the fact that A, it's going to hold its value because we're in the middle of a shortage. B, the only thing that can replace it is the 6090. And if it doesn't come out for a year, or if rumors are happening that it gets canceled, then people are just going to buy them up more. And it's going to be this like self-fulfilling prophecy. So this is this is like saying, I'm going to bet on the value of gold, but there's no competition to like, this is like, I'm going to bet on the value of gold and the dollar is tanking. This is the only thing I could think of that's similar. Like, there's no asset class that can rival this. And you can't buy an H100. Hell, look at what do freaking A6000s cost right now? 14,000 right now? So, like, you're going to see, like, as long as the value of these don't go down, as long as what they make doesn't go down, really, and it won't, because right now I'm making like 33 cents. I don't think it's going to go down past that, because Salad's got 100% utilization at 27 cents. Right. And people want them. And like at QuakeCon, right? I asked everybody who was in line for the 5090 in a gaming convention. They all wanted it for AI. They didn't want it for scalping. They wanted it for AI.
Right.
Obviously, you have people scalping this thing, right? But now that people see that it just keeps going up, people are going to hold on to these things. And the more people that hold on to them and just leave them in the box because they're going to be worth more. Right. And if the RAM shortage keeps going, which we know it will, I am telling you, I think we're going to see like $10,000 5090. It could. We could. And if
I don't think we'll see $10,000 5090.
Buddy, I didn't think a 5090 would be an asset from an asset class.
I certainly didn't think it'd be defined as an asset class, but I don't think. So it's funny because I asked AI, I'm like, where do you think this is going? And its initial response was that it thought it could go to 6,500 to 7,000. And I said, okay, hold on. Okay, let's talk about where it is. I started giving it some data, and because I'm like, it just felt like it pulled it right out of its ass. Yeah. And so then when I started providing it, and I said, check your work. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I was basing this on some general information I had, which I then checked, and no, this isn't right. So yes, 5,000 is very attainable, but yeah, something between 5,000, 5,500, maybe 6, possibly. But they basically was saying that was a stretch. I just think it's funny because what did I say? I said, if it got to 5,000, I'm really going to have to think about it. And what do we say in investing? You set a goal, a price goal of what you want to do with your assets, and you stick to it, because otherwise you get in the FOMO. And where are we right now? We are in FOMO land. We're absolutely in FOMO land.
We're
not. Call it what it is.
We're not in FOMO land. Like
no. We absolutely are. Just because you're in FOMO land doesn't mean it can't go higher. But it is a warning sign. Everybody's like, oh my God. It's like everybody's like holding on to their GPUs now.
But it's not, but the 90. So I'm only talking 5090. I'm not talking, I think the 4090 price could crash. Actually, funny you say that. But the 5090, only the 5090, it can only be replaced by itself. And because we know when we'll get a timeline, this is such a unique asset. And I said this last year, and I was the first one to say that this was going to go skyrocket and you need to buy this now. And I was right. And I thought that I would sell at 5, right? Seeing what I'm seeing now, I don't think, I don't know, man. I think if it hit 8, I think I would seriously consider selling half of them and then riding it out.
I'm certainly not disagreeing with you. What I'm just saying is that the way you are talking and the way a lot of people are talking is that that usually could mean that we're in a bubble.
But this is,
and I don't mean an AI bubble. I mean a GPU price bubble. That's what I mean.
This is different. This is different. This is
what everybody says.
Different.
That's what everybody says. Everybody says.
But
I'm simply calling it. I'm not saying what I'm saying is true, because I don't believe it. I think there's still room to run. My point is I'm saying it to everybody who's listening. Be careful. Don't assume the price is going to continue to go up. If you're concerned about it, or if cash is tight or something like that, and you are sitting on these, it's not a bad time to get rid of the GPUs, or even just sell 1, 2, 3, whatever. Say sell a portion.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Only you know your financial situation, right?
Right.
And I would always say, in line of what Max says, you know your situation. If you pay $2,000 for a GPU and you could pay 3 months of mortgage for it, right? Like you could sell one and give yourself 3 months of breathing room to improve your life. You do it, right? Like you don't listen to us and you do it. You know your own situation.
Right.
But if you were one of those people that said I was wrong, and I have so many people DM me and they're like, yeah, I fucked up, and I'm like, yeah, you did, like, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but they're like, you really, and I'm certainly patting myself on the back right now, but like, if you really knew the market and you knew where this is going, Max, we talked about it last year. You saw it a mile away. You started buying. I know so many people who just like
December. Hang on a second. December was so easy to say we needed to buy, and I wish I could have bought more. I try to buy within my means.
October,
and well, even August, as far back as October. June. Yes, fourth quarter last year,
third quarter.
But my point is that I mean, I was just buying anyway in third quarter. Nothing changed for me. But yeah, fourth quarter, I was like trying to scrounge up everything I could and trying to decide what the best moves were going to be for me, because I definitely felt like that, there was no longer going to be, say, a red carpet out in front to make this easy. Now all of a sudden prices were going to be a lot more expensive. So yeah, I definitely saw that coming. But yeah, it's just crazy where prices. I was looking at 3090 prices today on eBay. I was looking at sold listings, not listing listings. And the sold listings, there were a bunch of them at 1,500. A bunch of them.
I would never pay. So here's the thing. I would never pay 1,500 for 3090, even if you're using it for local LLMs.
Hey. Shh. I put that out in the ether. No, I want to get 1,500 for mine.
You'll get it out there. You'll get it, and you should. But like, if you're really looking to build an LLM, I would just as soon as buy a 5080 for it. I mean, you have less view. You could buy or pair up. I don't know, maybe pair up a pair of 6900 XTs. Like, you could get the VRAM other places.
You can, but still, Nvidia is king for compatibility. ROCm's come a long way, but still, it's just a lot easier to get going with Nvidia GPUs.
But if you're gonna pay 1,600, like, I don't know, man. If you're gonna pay that much, wouldn't you rather buy like a pair of something else that for like a few $100s more?
Maybe.
I mean, you're biased. Take the bias out. Like,
no, I'm telling you that I am familiar with Nvidia and what it's capable of, and I know what they can be rented for. I look at Vast and I'm like, what are they renting for there? They're not.
Forget about the third. No, we're not talking about rentals. We're talking about like LLMs. Like, we're talking straight LLMs.
So if we're talking about LLMs, I doesn't change. I would definitely VRAM is king. I would take a 3090 over a 5080 any day because of the extra 8 gig. It allows you to use higher models.
So why not get a pair of like something? Like
you can, but then you have to go through PCIe lanes, and that makes it slower than a 3090.
But how much?
The 3090, you load everything in there.
So what about the new Arc Pro B70? I need to get one of those actually.
So that I don't know how that runs with any of the AI stuff. I have not been keeping track of that. I do know Alex, I can't think of his last name. If anybody of you guys know it, put it in the chat. He has done some work with the Intel Arc. I think it's B80, I think is what it is with the 32 gig RAM. It's only like it was only $1,000. I don't know what it is now.
It probably might not go up. So, all right. So would you buy the Spark if instead of a 3090? Would you just buy a DGX Spark? Because by the time
it depends on the workload. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you were going to just say, I want to use a huge model and I don't care how long it takes, then yeah, then absolutely Spark, a DG Spark is a good solution for that. But if you're looking for a decent amount of speed, then no, I wouldn't. I would use a smaller model. I would use a 3090 or a 4090 and go with that.
I mean, to be honest with you, kind of contradicting my point, but like, I don't care. Like, it's a conversation. The nice thing about the 3090 is that's what I'm using in my build. You can pair it with 32 gigs of DDR4, put it with a 3900X, and you're golden to fit like a like a 57 billion parameter model in it or something along those lines.
That was a 27 billion.
Yeah, 27. Sorry, I'm still new to this.
Actually, speaking of that, Quen 3.8 came out this week. Saw some people playing with that. Oh, and look, Enable just said it. 3.8 27B is out. So yeah, that's out this week. Just came out Digital Spaceport ran some tests on it. It was pretty cool. He did like a retro gaming center is what he basically put a prompt in for that. So that
I'm gonna build mine this week and get it up and running, and I'm excited to learn it really. But what would you buy a 4090 for LLMs? They're not going up as crazy as the 5090s, and I honestly don't think they will. Like
I might use one. I don't know if I'd probably just go with the 3090 most likely, just because of the value. It's good value. But hang on a second. So yeah, Alex Ziskin was the guy I was thinking of, Vertex. So thanks, appreciate that. So Todd Tebow, you asked me what would I recommend for local LLM? Is that what you're asking? And if you are, like I said, it all depends on the workload. If speed is important, then using a DG Spark is probably not your best move, because it's going to be relatively slow. It's using LPDDR 5 memory as opposed to GDDR 6X or 7. So yeah, the speed of it is definitely going to be slower, but again, that's not what it's for. What it's for is, hey, I want you to go off and do this and come back in a few hours, while the other one may only take like 15-20 minutes to do. If you've got the time, then yes, that has the ability to run the model. So DG Spark is about what you're able to run, not on how fast you're able to run it. And Swamp 7, yes, I get it. 170HX for any local AI, meaning inference, which is what we're talking about, beats everything, even at $1,000. Well, hell, even at $1,500, it beats 3090, doesn't it, Swamp 7?
Is it stable though? Like I heard that you could only unlock a certain amount.
Again, it depends. It's going to be, those obviously were binned because they weren't good enough to be an A100, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily won't work. So it really depends on the quality that you're able to get out of it. Make sure you're not getting any memory errors and that type of thing. Let's see. Doomboot says single B70 Quen 3.6 35B A3B 70.8 tokens per second, decode 297.9 tokens per second peak with 16x concurrent requests. Which are you? That's the B70 he's talking about.
Makes me want to get one. Honestly, makes me want to get one. I might ask for one.
Yeah, Doomboots. Yes, this is true. 170HX claps everything. Yeah, I mean, I think it's still a point of, with the 170HX, it kind of is a little bit of how lucky you are.
How much do you want to mess with it? Whereas maybe like a 90 class just works, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but let's put it this way. Let's say you're talking about buying a 5090. 5090 is $4,500, but you can get 3 170HXs. So if only one of them works, it's got 64 gig of VRAM. It's going to kick a 5090's butt in what it can run and how fast it can run it. So
yeah, but how many lanes can it? What does it get? I mean, I guess that's true.
It's inference. It doesn't matter.
But okay,
it doesn't. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much.
So then, all right. So if it has 64 gigs of RAM, you need to pair it with. I guess you need to pair it with 128 of DDR4. That's not cheap.
Again, you don't have to, but yes, I mean, you would certainly need at least 64 gig. But again, you're talking about, okay, if you want to compare them, you're talking about 2 5090s versus 170HX. One 170HX. So it's exactly Scroll Masters. It's the HBM memory. That's everything. That's the speed of it. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the 170HX. By the way, if you're sitting on 170HXs, congrats.
buddy, I sold 48 of them. So here's the funny thing, right? So
you sold 48 of them.
I had 48 of them. I bought them before.
What did you sell them for?
I sold them for $350 a pop last year. So here's the ironic part, and I bought 6 5090s with them. So am I wrong, or I mean, did I really do that?
I mean, the 170. I mean, who saw it coming? Nobody saw.
Nobody,
nobody.
I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, it would be water under the bridge even so. It's not like you didn't make out well with it.
So I would have probably sold them and netted about $850 because I would have undercut the market to get rid of them, right? So if you times $850 by 48, I would have $40,800.
Did you have the 10 gig version or the 8 gig?
I had mostly 8s.
Okay, yeah, 8 gig seems to be the place to be.
So then all right. So say the 6 5090s are worth 8. I mean, it's basically if they become worth 8, it's a wash almost.
Who did you hang on a second. So 170HX rig is basically Opus 4.8 good running DeepSeek 4V. Interesting.
That's
I'm running what are I forget how they classify it. I'm running Opus 5 most of the time now. And what am I running it at? High is what I'm running it at most of the time, just because I don't use it enough to run out of tokens. Plus, I'm also using I have the Max subscription, so I can still get a Fable 5. Although, thinking I'm going to scale back down just because Opus 5 is pretty darn close to Fable 5 at this point. But anyway, yeah. Holy crap! He made 50K. Who made 50K? Swamp.
I didn't make 50K. I sold mine for $350 a pop.
Right.
I sold. So it's funny because I took a 20% loss, but I made out so unbelievably good in the first 5090 shortage, and then at the end of the crypto boom, like I sold during that shortage, I sold like 33070s. So like I did okay. But the funny thing is that GPU miners, like I love people like Rabid who always crapped on GPUs when ASIC, blah 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 blah. GPU miners have been time and time again bailed out by the shit. Like, tell me a time a GPU miner has lost, because
you're not wrong at all. That's what's so funny about all this is think about all the people. Now, admittedly, I did sell a bunch of my older GPUs a while back. I didn't sell like right after the mining. I sold basically, I think it was at
I bought so
mid last year, I think is when I sold most of my GPUs, but I still have what do I have? I have 7 3060s. I have one 3060. Well, I have 3 3060 Ti's, but one's in my wife's computer and one is in one of my nodes. And then I have one sitting in an Octominer. All 7 of those 36 are in the Octominer, and I got 2 5060 Ti's in that Octominer as well. So yeah, I got to figure out. Right now, when I bought the 5080s, I displaced 2 5060 Ti's. But what I'm thinking about right now is I'm probably going to sell those 2 3090s because I think they've peaked, honestly. I can sell them for 1,500, and I'm going to put the 5060 Ti's where they are in my farm.
Time out.
Yeah.
5060 Ti 16 gigs. I woke up and they're $800 everywhere now. Like, holy shit. Will you sell yours for $800?
They are not that much. I'm gonna go look at my.
I want you to screen cap this when I make you look like a fool, because you always do it to me. So this is fun, buddy.
Fair enough.
I shit my pants. You go look and see how much they cost.
What you have to understand is that I have the tool of Micro Center, which is always lags the market. So, by the way, you said RTX Pro 5000 Pro 6000s were how much?
13,000 right now.
No, you haven't looked recently. They're up to, in most places, they're up to 18 grand. Now, you could still get one, and I certainly did think about it. I'm like, shit, Micro Center still has them for 15. What a deal.
Do you think we screwed up? Okay, so I have to ask you honestly.
No,
When
no,
we were
wait,
both-
no. Hang on. So here's the thing. We're talking, you're splitting hairs. You're like, oh my God, look at how much. It's $10,000 more. No, split it up in 5090s. So initially you could have bought one
2 to
50,
1.
60, 50, hang on, one 6,000 for basically about 4 5090s, right? About that?
No, it was like 3 to 1. It was realistically like 3 to 1.
No, it wasn't. It was like 8,500 to 9,000.
No, I was looking at them when they were set. Well, I could get them for set. I had a contact. I could get them for 7.
Okay,
when
you
I
had a
was looking.
contact. I'm talking about where they were like in retail. Okay,
but 7 was my number. So it was like at the time it was like 2.5 to 1. So
oh my God.
yeah, I told you. I told you. I told you.
Oh
I
my
told you.
God.
You got to
That's
screen cap this
insane.
crap. Oh, it's
That's
outrageous.
insane.
It's got to be AI. I don't see how else. It's got to be AI. What
The
do people want?
cheapest one, which has always been pretty much the cheapest one,
$800
is the Asus Prime, and it's
$800.
$810.
I paid $330 for mine.
I paid. No, you paid for your 8 gig.
No, the 60. What the shadow? Hold on, I could go to Walmart. I'll tell
No,
you
it was
how
like
much.
420, 450. That range is what that one was, and I got that same one.
Okay, then maybe it was. Hold on.
Oh my God.
So okay,
That's insane.
are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it at? If you could get 700, do you sell them?
I don't think so, but
Why not?
now I'm like thinking.
Like I know what you paid because like they're never going to make as much on Vast. Like why do you? If you could just pocket the cash, and then
It's all, wait, first of all, it's all about relative price. So right now I'm making around 9.5 cents reliably. Some are making more. So if I'm going to try to put that into something that'll make 3 times that or 4 times that, let's just say that about a 5090 would make about 4 times that. Well, fine. I sell it for $700. It's only $2,800 towards a 5090 that is going for like $4,500.
No. But okay. And we'll go back to the asset class thing if you want later. I don't see these things going up that much more. Like you can just pocket the cash difference and call it a day.
Yeah, I haven't looked. So here's the thing. I've showed it last week. I have a spreadsheet. I will go through the spreadsheet, and when the break, even though I've broken even on all this, when the break even gets too long, that tells you that it's time to get rid of it. And so if it's like 5 years, like you wouldn't buy it, absolutely wouldn't buy it today at that price, it's time to sell. That's the way I look at it. So
you talking about, okay, so I mean, I don't think so. I it's wild, right? Like, I don't think it's worth getting into GPU rentals right now. Like,
it is if you're just starting out. It's funny. I actually,
unless you believe
there was a great quote, and I want to find this. Give me a second.
Unless you believe the 5090 is just going to keep going up, and you're just doing it to make some extra cash. I mean, that's one thing. But
hold on, here it is. So I told. Oh, seriously? Damn it!
Did you lose it?
Is it gonna? If I go back, oh gosh darn it! I was using TurboScribe. There was a video on Home Lab, and I thought the end quote was like really good, and I can't remember. It was Tech Linked, or was it? No, it was Tech Quickie actually. That had a video on this about Home Lab and had actually Jeff Gerling in it. But anyway, at the very end, it was like, is it worth getting into, especially now? And like, yes, it's worth getting into. Just work your way into it, learn, make mistakes, all that kind of stuff. It's worth learning this type of stuff. That's the way I look at it. If you're into computers at all, I think it's worth getting into. Just, yes, go in at a slow rate at this point. I wouldn't jump whole hog, but at the same time, if you want to get into this, if you wait, in the short term, it's probably only going to get more expensive at this point.
So here's the crazy thing, right? And I keep trying to ask myself this question. If you were going to, all right, if you're like, okay, I get right now the cheapest 5090 you can get is 4400 at Micro Center, right? Would you buy a 5090 at 4400 for two reasons? One, to learn LLMs, to learn AI, to do rentals, to make some passive income. And two, because you don't think you can lose money on it. So like,
Here's the thing. No, I wouldn't. What I do instead is, and by the way, guys, let me double check to make sure they haven't changed the price of it. I checked earlier today, and the Pro 4000s were, I'm going to do a refresh on it because I still have the page open. The Pro 4000s were over $3,000. They were like 3,100 or something. The 4500s are 3,300 right now. If you can get a 4500 which has 32 gig of VRAM, I think from a standpoint of if I had the money to do it, what would be the best card to get in order to do straight AI type stuff? I think it's the Pro 4500. That seems to be a sweet spot. Because like, if you're going to go to the 5000 at 48 gig, you're paying almost twice as much because that's $6,000.
I don't think you're going to lose. All right.
It's not about losing money. You're not going to lose money on this either. My point is that if you're trying to do something and learn, then no, I would not be buying a 5090. Money. I'd be buying the Pro 4000s, or the Pro series has been going up as fast or faster than consumer grade GPUs right now.
Yeah, but the 5090 has more. I feel like the 5090 has more potential to go up.
Nope. I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that at all. Look, like I said, look at what happened to the Pro 6000.
But it's not listed as an asset class.
Not yet. And neither is a 5090 yet, by the way. That's all talk. The first one's H100 and the second one is B200. Those two are committed. The rest of them, as I read, I didn't find anywhere where it said exactly what the next one was going to be. It talked about that these are other ones that are being looked at, but yeah. And I truly would believe they would come out with the Pro 6000 before the 5090s.
I think the 5090s are easier to get and technically cheaper to get.
Like I said, if you look at, they are definitely cheaper, sure, but when you look at what they're capable of making,
it's easier. You're not wrong, right? You're not wrong, but so I think the weird thing is we're not only talking about what they're capable of making, like the entry, like spending. I can't believe we're having this conversation. This blows my mind. But if you wanted to get into one, right? And you were like, I only have $5,000 to play with. You can't buy a Pro 6000. You buy a 5090.
No, if you only have 5,000 to spend, you buy a Pro 4500. That's what you buy at 3,300. So you have the rest of the money to put into the computer.
People don't know that. People hear 5090 like they don't know that.
I'm telling you, the 4500s are gonna be the next thing to boom. Right? The 4000s have already done it. The 4000s came out at like 1,600.
How new are the 4500s?
They've been around since the beginning of last year, I think.
Are they Blackwell or are they Blackwell?
They're Blackwell.
I need to talk to you outside of this after this. But no. But in all seriousness, though, like I think the 5090 is more famous, and if you don't know what you're doing, and there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. Probably gonna buy a 5090 because you walk in a Micro Center.
I understand what you're saying. I can tell you that I have been hemming and hawing about consumer versus the Pro series, back and forth and back and forth.
Wrong.
And now I believe the Pro series is the way to go. So, like for instance, the biggest problem with the 4500 is exactly kind of what you said, is the fact that, well, it has 32 gig of RAM, just like the 5090s, and there's so many 5090s out there on AI platforms. Okay, so for the 4500s to kind of get a wedge in there is the problem. This is the reason why I've had really good luck with the one Pro 5000 I have. It's been rented more often than not. It kicks way above its weight class. I mean, I bought it for $4,500 and it's making over 50 cents an hour. And you're like, well, it's it's basically, and what is it now? It's now $6,000. I could get one for $6,000. Trust me, I'm actually thinking about selling some stuff and getting that one for $6,000 because I think that still is a really good play with what it makes. But anyway, I got to put in all the numbers, which I'm going to do tomorrow. But yeah,
okay, so actually I have a question for you. What should a 5090 be making on Vast right now? I'm only making 35 cents on mine.
I think that's about, I mean, you can pull it up. You can look at what it shows in Vast. But again, there's a lot of factors that come into play. Obviously, if you're a data center, 5090, you're going to be making more. If you have 10 gig internet, you're going to be making more. There's a lot of factors that go into it. If you have an 8 GPU rig and you're renting all 8 to one person, you're going to make more. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But if we just look at what the stats are, and people can argue whether or not the stats are correct or not. I'm talking to you, Mr. Swamp 7.
Yeah, he keeps telling me. I'm like, man, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm just going by what it says, and those are the stats. Because I didn't log back in after.
Here's another question for you. I'm in the process now. Obviously, this is kind of cheating because it's through sponsorships and it's all basically free to do. But I'm moving all my rigs to 2x5090s, right? I'm moving all of them. I'm going to have two 2x5090s and one 5090 and then one 4090. Do you think the 2x5090s will get running better overall? Better, more?
Slightly better, but probably not. Basically, the sweet spot is 8, although I have found that 4 GPU instances, shall we say, have been doing well. So I would say 4 is probably the minimum to really get much of a premium.
So if you're doing 4, right, what the fuck kind of system is it? Are you at an Epic? Are you at an Epic with what, like 256 gig of ECCM memory, which I might actually
the Octo server I has 512.
Is it DDR4 or 5?
DDR4.
So if you're at like a DDR5 ECCM Epic, what do you need? 3,000 watt power supplies to power all this? Basically,
I'm not even sure. It basically has like 4,500 watts of power in that server. The 8 GPU server I've got that's also on an Epic. That one's only got 256 gig of RAM in that one. But it's got 8 4090s on it. That one has 4 1,600 watt power supplies plus a 750 powering it.
Yeah, it's kind of just like food for thought that like, everybody says convert to Epic. I can't get ECCM memory right now. I can get DDR5. This is a very unique situation, and it doesn't apply to everybody. And it's literally like the only thing I'll have to buy is the CPU at this point.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, but they're right. I mean, you convert to Epic and you can put a lot more GPUs on it. Like I do have one Threadripper system, and I have thought about like trying to fit more GPUs on it by basically putting it into like a mining frame and then using host adapters and such. So that I can run multiple GPUs off of the 3 PCIe slots. So I'd be able to do 6 off of that.
So if you did an Epic, right? If you did an Epic, you basically have to get a freaking Veta frame and
yes, I mean that's part of it, or get a server case.
So I have that one from Inwin that I could probably convert. Did they message you, by the way? I can see that. I don't care.
I didn't see him ever reply. No.
So like they sent me that, and I got to get it up. But it works with AM5, but I'm going to try it. But it could fit 4 5090s in it. So I could probably tell them I need that
4 2-slot 5090s.
I have 4 2-slot 5090s.
Okay, I'm just clarifying. Now the other part of it is yeah, I would be very concerned about how the heat dissipation would go. But hey, it's a great experiment.
I mean, he said it could do it. Swamp 7 just bought 3 Epic servers. That's crazy, man. They're dirt
It's
cheap.
not. He believes in the space and he has the setup for it.
Yeah, no, I mean
and I'm sure he's buying all this off of his profits. I have no doubt.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm not making that much right now. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I have 3 up. I have 3 5090s up. I have a 4090 down because that one keeps giving me network issues. I got to talk to you about that later. Just haven't had time to get it up. Really, life is busy. And I'll have 6. I'll have 5 and a 4090, and I'm just gonna ride that out. I don't know, but I mean, it's nice because like making a few $100 a week. Like,
yeah, I'm trust me, I am very thankful. I've got 37 GPUs, although some of them are much less. They're still profitable. They just don't make that much. If you look to see where most of my profits are coming from, it's from the 154090s and the 105090s and the 5000. The 3090s and the 5060 Ti's are contributing a little bit, but not that much. So yeah, those are definitely
are 4090s to play, because you could get 4090s for 2300 all day long right now. Like, I get them. Like,
yeah,
if you
I've seen it. I mean, they're kind of right now. They're more selling again. In the last 3 days, they've jumped up to like 2500.
Yeah, but like, I don't think they're gonna go much past that. Like, I know you thought they would, and I don't think you're wrong. But like, you see the astronomical jump of the 5090, and the 4090 is just not keeping pace. Like, relatively anyway.
We'll see. We'll see. I just don't think it's caught up yet. But like I said, my thought right now is maybe sell half of the 4090s and then upgrade the other half to 48 gig. It's kind of
way more expensive. So I was talking to my guy a few days ago, buddy. It is way more expensive than you think, and he can do it. Like, he can do it.
Well, the one guy that I know that does it, I was looking at his website the other day before all these announcements came out, so he might have gone up in price. Plus, he was featured on Level 1 Tech, so he's probably got more business than he knows what to do with right now. But yeah, it was like $1,600 to upgrade a 4090 to a 48 gig. And again, that pays for a fully populated PCB other than the core and the 24 gigs of VRAM, but he's providing the other 24 gigs of VRAM.
Is he giving you the board, the server, the blower?
The board, the server, the heat sink, everything.
Because it's a blower. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say it's a 1 or 2 slot blower. So
it's a 2-slot blower. The other thing is the nice thing about it is that the heat sink. So a lot of these Pro Series cards, or not all the Pro Series cards, there's no blow through on them. They're blower cards, so they suck in from the side and then blow out the front. But if you have it in a server case, that doesn't really help you that much. So if you have these like right next to each other, you're kind of blowing through a squeezed straw, to try to give cooler air to enable it to pull that air in. It's restricted. And so the nice thing about the 48 gig 4090 is the fact that it has an open back and it has the heatsink fins facing the right direction. And on top of that, they're not super close fins, which a lot of people are like, oh, there's fewer fins, it's not going to be as good. Yeah, but if you have it in a server case, the air goes through a lot less restrictive. So I think it's probably in a server case, it's probably going to do pretty darn well.
So Doombot said 4080 32 gigs are flooding the market. I heard about those, and if you can find a link for one that's like, if I could pay $1,000 for one, I would, because that's about like if I could get one for about $1,000, I'd buy one of those to mess with it. I think it'd be a great. Funny enough, I think it'd be a fantastic gaming card because the drivers work normally on those. Because I've known about those for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be getting those for $1,000.
What do you think they'll cost? Maybe
well,
15?
I mean the 48 gig I think are going for like 3,700. So I'm guessing the 4080s are probably close to what a regular 4090 is right now.
Those memory buses are crippled though, compared to the 4090. Like the 4080 is a decent drop off for the bus and the core
Understood,
count.
but I still think it's probably going to be 2500. Again, you have more VRAM. So that's why I
Yeah.
think it's going to be similar to what a 4090 is. My only concern about upgrading, shall we say, to a 4090 48 gig is resale.
So it won't. I'm telling you. So I have the one right up there, the 3080 20 gig. People have offered me a shit ton of money for it, and I've turned them down.
Oh
And
wow!
like I got offered regular.
Well, hang on a
3080.
second. This is a little bit different because you still have the original heat sink, cooler,
No,
everything.
No, I don't.
Oh, you
What are
don't?
you talking about? Look, no, that's gone, dude. That was gone a long time ago.
So it's a new.
Look at this. What does it say on it? This is a 3090. This is a 3090 PCB.
Oh, so they put the
3090.
3080 thing on a 3090 PCB.
Yeah, that's why I told you I needed that one piece from you. I said in the back, you're one in the
Oh,
background.
yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
kept telling you to give me it. So
Oh,
I mean, I got offered,
you wanted from that.
yeah,
No, that's a 4090.
the
So it
same
wouldn't fit.
You don't think?
No,
Give me
that's a
3090 one.
3090.
If you could get 1600 for a 3090, just give me the thing, and they'll still get 1600 for it. Dude, do it if you can. But anyway, I got offered for this. I got offered like 8,900, and I turned it down.
I get it. My point is that it still looks like a consumer GPU as opposed to a server GPU. So there's some question about
Yeah, I don't think that matters.
yeah, there's some question about whether or not what the resale value will be.
To be fair, the guy definitely because I got him some business and we're friends and we like kind of take care of each other. He definitely went above and beyond on this, like because he put a bunch of extra fuses on it. He shunt modded it. So like he definitely like put the works on this, and he only charged me like $200 for it. And I got the 39 or the 3080.
Yeah, most of my 4090s are in an almost all but one of my 4090s is in an Epic system. My 5090s on the other hand, I've got 3 in a Threadripper system, and then the other 7 are like all in single GPU systems.
So here's a question. What if you put the money into upgrading 8 4090s into 48 gigs, right? And you put them on an Octo server, you could probably charge a shit ton of money for that.
Well, that's kind of where I'm thinking about going with it, but I don't want to just take all 8 out. What I'm thinking right now is what I'd like to do is why not? Because I have to take it down for 3 weeks.
Okay, so how much money are you missing out on?
No, okay. So the point is I like to withhold and be true to the contract, which is leave your shit up if somebody's renting it and you said it was going to be good through a certain date.
Put on maintenance mode.
Yeah, maintenance mode doesn't mean okay.
I get it.
That date that you say when your contract is supposed to be good through, you're supposed to leave it up and running until that date.
I don't unplug it. If I have something go down, I put maintenance mode because I have them go down once in a while.
True, that does happen. But my point is that for me to take it out for 3 weeks, that isn't maintenance mode because something's wrong.
So how long?
And when I put it back in, the guy may still be there, and if he is, then he's going to be renting it at a much lower price than what I'd be able to get it for the 48 gig.
When's your contract run out?
Way too long into the future.
So end it. So put it. Listen. Put it.
No, I already was going to do that tomorrow, so I wasn't. I'd already been thinking about that.
Expire it now. If he jumps off for a second, that's on him.
No, I get it. Totally get it.
So like, but how much? But dude, so like, if it's 1,600 a pop, right? And you have 8 4090s you do this for, you could sell 3090s to cover one. Like every 3090 you sell covers one. Every like how much money could you rent 8 48? Jesus Christ, how much VRAM is that on a 4090?
Give me 1 second.
That's 384 gigs of VRAM.
One of my rigs is down.
Well, while Max takes forever and diddles himself on these.
No, one of my rigs. I just looked at it. One of my rigs is down.
I'll fill in for you. Someone asked a while ago about the GPU being an asset class and why is that a big deal? So like to do a 2-second presentation on asset classes like gold, silver, technically Bitcoin, like these are all asset classes. And these are things that like an investor like a hedge fund or whatever would go into and be like, oh, we'll buy some of these to diversify our portfolio. Well, if these things are asset classes, then some dude who doesn't know anything about a GPU is going to go, oh, the 5090 is the cheapest asset class. It is the best value. Let's go buy a bunch because we think they're going to go up in value. So basically all they're going to do is drain them from the market. And if they don't, probably not to use them. And when you have a combination of them getting drained out of the market and going up because of the RAM, this is like the perfect storm of like, you could see an $8,000 5090. And then like at that point, if you have an $8,000 5090, you have to ask yourself, what do you do? Like, if you really believe that is possible, which I am not a financial expert, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I was talking to my dad about this because he was the one that was like made me listen to this podcast that got me and Max onto it. He asked me, would you do it? And I said, I'm a baby, but I mean, if you could almost double your money at 4,400 to 8,000, would you do it? And I guess the smart answer would be yes. But the crazy thing is, vast demand doesn't matter about these things because as long as they're making around what they're making now, it's a supply side shock. It's not a demand. Well, it's a supply side and a demand side shock because they're going up in value because they're harder to get and the RAM is so expensive. And then if everybody's buying them up, it's like a shock on both sides. So like where does it end? And I don't know, right? Like Max said 5,000 earlier this year. I didn't think he'd go that high. I thought 42 to 43 we're at where I thought, and Max is looking wrong too. So like I said, okay, so I said this while Max is working on this stuff. The biggest thing for me was when the $3,500 barrier of the Astral broke, then that meant that who knows where we could go, right? The barrier for the Astral right now is $4,829. If that $4,800 Astral breaks, this is like a fucking stock market. This is ridiculous. We're talking about this like stocks. If the 48, I'm prepping for my own video now, but if the $4,800 Astral line breaks, where does that go next? Does it go to 57, 5,800? Like then if it does become an asset class, where do we go next? 62 to 6,600? Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know. So at that point, right? Like if there's an announcement for if there's an announcement for a 6090 next year and I could get 5,000 for one of my 5090s or 6,000, I'd probably sell it. But also you have to ask yourself, how much is if they see that 5090s are selling for 52 to 6,000, what do you think the MSRP of a 6090 is going to be? Like 4,000? And I don't know, right? I don't even know. I'm just talking at this point. So Doombots makes a good point that I was laughing at. The 5090 Lightning was 5,090 at launch. It's a really good deal right now. Quick Cash says it won't matter. You won't be able to buy a 6090. Listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. My goal is to not play by the rules buying GPU anymore. Like I'm just going to go the influencer route. But yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to buy one, which will raise the rate. Because like, look at what the 4090 did. The 4090 was at 1,300, and I told everyone not to sell it. And the 5090 was unobtainium, and that ended up being what? It went up to 2,600 for a time. So like, I don't know, guys, but I'm going to put myself on record to say that an $8,000 5090 could happen. Do I think it will? I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. You know, once we got to 5,000, I said that we were in loony territory, and who knows? Now with this whole asset class thing, it's like, would you rather invest in $4,400 worth of stock or $4,400 in a 5090 right now? Max, what would you do?
What would I'm sorry. I'm
$4,400 in the stock market or $4,400 in a 5090. What's safer to you?
$4,400 in a 5090.
That's absurd, and I think I would do the same. So like, buy 1 ounce of gold eagles. Dude, the crazy thing is, if you look at the price of gold over the past 6 months, I bet you the 5090s outpaced it. But I don't have that in front of me, and I don't have control of the stream, even though I don't know. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to think. But what I'm saying is, everybody who sold at 5090, like for a 5090, congratulations, you made $3,000. And I mean, that's not a bad thing, but you're gonna make more. They're not going anywhere, guys. Like, they are not going down in price anytime soon. And you got to remember something too. We're in grass touching season right now. This is traditionally the worst time to buy PC parts because the market's always the lowest, demand's always the weakest. What do you think these things like if we run out of stock at $5,000 on a 5090, where does that put us? Are we at 6,500 by Christmas? That's wild.
That's a wild thought.
Like, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm crazy. And Max, do you start selling 5090s at 6,500?
Okay.
Like,
yeah, probably.
And
at that price,
just say
probably.
You. Like, if you're making so if your 5090s have been paid off and you're making $4,000 on them, like, you're not going to make, all right, what, I don't know, let's say at 50 cents, right? 50 cents. We're going to do some numbers real quick. 50 cents times 0.24. That's $12 a day times 365. That's shit. That's
okay,
hard.
Back up. I don't know what the hell that was.
All right, Max, I just did some numbers. You could make $4,000 in a year if the 5090 stayed at 50 cents an hour. You make $4,000 in a year, or you could make $4,000 in a day profit.
Yeah,
it's not even a guarantee that I would do it. Oh, like what is this?
Because we have an addiction.
No, it's not.
We like
We're just up so far. We are up so far that what's the harm in riding it?
Because it'll come down again.
Okay, when?
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, this is the perfect analogy. Were you selling Bitcoin at 100?
No, this is not Bitcoin.
At 120.
This is not even close to Bitcoin. This is so much different than Bitcoin. And I sold on the way
that's
up.
what Bitcoiners say about the current state.
This is yes, but no. I know that sounds crazy, but this is so much different and so much better than Bitcoin and so much less volatile because of this. Like, you would need Skynet to come to kill this price, basically.
Okay, so hang on a second. I hear what you're saying. First of all, Bitcoin loses, 30% at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
GPUs are not going to lose no matter where they're at. They are going to move at a slower rate than, and actually they tend to move up faster than they come down. So I get what you're saying. And this is something that's tangible. You can hold it. You know what this thing does. You know what value it provides.
And it can't be replaced. It can't be replaced. You can't
have
another
Bitcoin. There's only a maximum amount of Bitcoin that can be made.
Yeah, but a new crypto could come that's a hot thing like Trump, Molina, and have a higher market cap. You could be more profitable, whatever. If this was a 5090, the only thing that's replacing it is a 6090.
Right.
That's it. Unless there's something else out there.
Except more 5090s that are being made.
And we're in the middle of a RAM shortage.
No, I get it. Hey, you can go look. You can buy them. In fact, actually, the one that's kind of tempting me, because I really want one, is one of those creator 5090s from Asus, the 2-slot ones. Those are so nice. Shut up. Do not even say it.
What do you mean?
You're going to get one? Is that what I'm going to hear?
No, I'm not going to get one. My battery died. No, I'm not going to get one. I'm not. They told me to go. They laughed at me. They said, you have no shot at getting one of these. No shot. No, what I was gonna say, I gotta charge my camera up. What I was gonna say is oh fuck, someone said Nvidia is controlling the supply of GPU dies like a diamond cartel. They're actually not. Like, it's funny you say that because they're having supply issues, and I know I know where the founders are going, and the founders are going to prevent scalping. Like, you'll never, first of all, and this at that, you'll never see a 5090 founders on Nvidia.com again. Never. You probably will never see one on, but that doesn't mean they're not there. They're going to combat scalpers. But Nvidia does not control the die. Like, they're fighting for fab space like everybody else. Like, you don't, they don't have as much control as you think. I mean, they have a lot of control, but they're fighting for the fabs and they're fighting for RAM like everybody else.
So I want to go back because I want to talk through a bunch of the chat because we've been totally like ignoring I've been ignoring the chat. So here, let me see where I left off. Okay, left off there. Yeah. Okay, then. Okay, got that. Sorry, just trying to figure out. 5060 Ti's are good, easy, $4 per day, zero power and heat. He's not wrong. So here's the one thing I will say about 5060 Ti's for AI is, yes, they're going to be a less expensive way to get in. And on top of it, yeah, you're not going to have as much heat to deal with. And if you have multiple, like you have 5090s, 4090s, I like being diversified because I find that things are rented at different times. So I think that's been good for me. You know, I may have times where my 5060 Ti's are all rented, but my 4090s aren't, and vice versa.
Real quick on the 5060 Ti, what's your break even number on that, like per hour with your power rate?
Oh, with my power rate? Oh my God, stupid cheap.
Like if it was running,
give me a second. I don't have it like completely, but I can figure it out really quick. I'm at about 9 cents. I'll just call it 10 cents. Times.
So you're probably 3 cents.
Call it about, because I got them on Xeons. I'll call it 250 watts per, like 500 watts for a rig, because I have them on in 2 GPU rigs. We'll call it 250 watts. And then divided by 1,000. So basically, I'm paying 25 cents a day to run that.
So my break even is
not even. Sorry, hang on a second. Not even. Sorry, I did that wrong. It's actually 2.5 cents a day.
So
it's like stupid cheap.
So mine, I have to make,
or 2.5 cents an hour. Sorry.
Yeah. I have to make 5.5 cents an hour. What do they make an hour? What do you run for those?
Right now I'm running them at about 10 cents. Let's see. If I'm looking at my 5060 Ti's, one of them's not doing great. That one's doing okay. They're right now, I'd say right now they're making about an average. Let's see. Those are both averaging about 9 cents. This one down here is averaging 12 cents per 5060 Ti. So it just kind of depends. I mean, but let's say 10 cents.
That's not terrible.
No, so I'm basically at 10 cents. I'm making $2.40. Obviously, less than the $4 that he's making. I can't wait till I get fiber. Everybody, Swamp 7 in particular, because then I know that I will be able to charge more. I have the reliability, guys. I have multiple. That most of my units actually are over, that have been operating long enough, that are over 99.9% reliability. So I am if you look at how many people are over 99.9, yes, there's plenty out there that are, but when you look at them on a percentage basis, there aren't a lot. And so, yes, I know that I have a distinct advantage if I can just get past the bandwidth part of it.
So someone was asking at the end of July, there were stories about price raises. We're seeing the 30% price raise now. Yeah, that's correct. That's what we're seeing right now. That's causing everyone to go a little cray-cray. Yep.
And that's exactly what we got. Those 30%. And So if I was looking up before, like I said, the Pro 4500 is still 3300. I don't expect that to last another week, and then it's probably going to be in the 4000s. Would not be surprised. And I think basically what Micro Center does is that they continue to sell the stock at the price that they acquired it at, and once that stock is gone, then they start selling at the new price. At my local store, there's 3 at West.
So that's why you see 5070s right now cheaper than 5060 Ti's at Micro Center.
Oh, really? The 5070s are cheaper? Because I know that those have gone up a lot too.
They're crap. They're on a like I don't know why they're garbage. You gotta be on drugs to pay what they're paying for them right now.
No, they're actually about the same price now.
Yeah, so like they're better. The 5070 is way better than the fucking
for a gaming card. Yes, absolutely.
Even for an AI card, I mean, I guess RAM is everything.
RAM is everything.
Dude,
RAM
you know what's crazy?
Is everything.
You know what's crazy? Once somebody figures out how to make AMD cards profitable, that's the ball game because AMD cards are cheap right now. Like the prices really haven't gone up.
I'm trying to see what my 50, because I was worried that I paid too much for the 5080s, and I'm curious. Okay,
they haven't gone up like you think. They're stable.
They are stable. Those have not gone up much. I mean, they haven't gone down. So I mean, I basically bought it for just under like about $12.50, I think is what I bought them for.
You're fine.
So they're all above that now.
Not by much though. They've actually been pretty stable.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is still the situation where they want to get rid of their current stock first before they raise the price for the new stuff. Like if you look at Micro Center 5080s, there's 25 plus in stock of the gigabyte model. So they're at 1349. I have a feeling that they're going to go up to 1600 because they say that they're on sale. They're basically foreshadowing what the price is going to be once they get through their current stock. Same thing with the Zotac. They have that at $12.99. But
do you want to hear something crazy?
Are much higher.
Ready? You want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
I want to see your face. My video on demand thing is weird right now, but I want to see your face. Go look up the 3060 Ti 12 gig and see what it's at right now.
Oh, the 3060 12 gig?
Yeah, I checked it today, and I
thought it was $300 now.
Go look at it.
Oh, you're talking about new. You're talking about new?
See what it's selling for new right now.
No, I know what it's selling for new. It's selling for like $450.
Yeah, what?
I freaking flipped when I saw that today.
Yeah,
I was like, shit, I'm not selling my 3060s at 300. I'll sell them at 350, but I won't sell them at 300.
You get them
just gotta wait a little bit, and the prices will rise.
I mean, the used market's going up. I saw somebody trying to get $300 for 2080 Ti's, but he got laughed out of the park. So we'll see if they go up or not. I don't think they will. I really don't, but we'll see. I've been wrong before.
All right. Sorry. Let me get back to the chat. I said I was going to get back to the chat. All right. 56. Yeah, I said that. Then, so at this point, it's a 6K 5090 with 12K in RAM. Yeah. 2 boots. Yeah. It's not quite 6K.
You could get 64 gigs of DDR4 for under $300 still if you look.
Wait a minute. How much?
Under $300. I just paid $150 for 64 gigs of DDR4.
Where?
Online.
Used?
Yeah, used. Green memory. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's the only place. I was thinking you meant retail. I'm like, there's no way you're getting that retail.
No, that's what 32 gigs cost.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm saying you could still get DDR4 64 gig for reasonable cost.
It depends on how you look at 64 gig. So 64 gig with 4 sticks or 64 gig with 2 sticks, because it is very different.
It's 4. You're running 4.
Yeah, you're not getting 32 gig sticks for anything. If you wanted to do like 64 gig with 232 gig sticks, you're talking at least $1,000 or more at this point.
For DDR4?
No, for DDR5.
Yeah,
DDR4 is like 800.
No, really?
Yeah. New. I'm talking about new.
So I'm going to start selling off my DDR4, I think, as I get DDR5. It just seems like the right move now. Because DDR4 isn't really going, like, I'm getting DDR4 pretty cheap still.
So it enables, like, maybe sell off 5090s and upgrade to Pro 6000, 5000.
I don't know.
I am concerned about the about getting into Pro 6000s at the price it's at. It has, if you look at how much it has gone up in just the last like 30 days compared to other Pro series, it's crazy. I still think the Pro 5000 is the place to be. I mean, you can get a Pro 5000 72 gig for like 8,500, half the price of a Pro 6000. Now again, Pro 6000, depending on which one you get, yes, it has similar performance to a 5090, but I'm not looking at necessarily exactly what the performance is. I'm looking at what it can garner as far as rental income.
So the
to
question,
its price.
the question that I was just thinking about while you were talking about that. So the 6000 Pro is like the full die of the 5090, basically, right? So going forward, which one of those is going to be harder to make?
You mean of the Pro series?
No, is a 6000 Pro, which is the full 5090 die, harder to produce than a 5090?
Well, harder in what way? I don't think the board may be a little bit more complicated, but not much.
No.
Very
You're
similar.
not listening. You're not listening.
No, you said which one's harder to make?
5090s are just failed 6000s. Like they're just badly bin 6000 Pros.
No, they're not. The 5090s came first. They're not.
No, the full board is the 50. Isn't the 5090 the? Which one is the full board? The full chip? Because they're the
Hang
same.
on.
They're the same die. Which is the full die? Which is the full die? Isn't it the 6000 Pro?
Hang on.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not gonna die on this hill, but it's just for. Right?
Hang on. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's GB202. Yeah. It's basically almost the full thing.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Pro 6000
So-
enables the full die.
So, like, if the 5090 is the cut down version of it, right? Then isn't the 6000 Pro harder to make, especially with 3 times the VRAM? So,
Well,
wouldn't you think-
certainly harder to make. So if you think about it, they all use the same process. So no, it's not harder to make. The yield is poorer.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little tired.
No, that's fine.
So like, but if the yield is much poorer and it uses 3 times the VRAM, and the 6000 Pro becomes an asset class, wouldn't that go up relatively more X's amounts of magnitude than the 5090?
Right now, all I can say is that they've generally gone up. Right now, we would say that the Pro 6000 has gone up more in value than the 5090. Not incredibly more. If you think about where the 5090 is about double in price, maybe a little bit more than double. The Pro 6000, depending on where you say its starting point was, is again a little bit over double, but maybe a little bit higher. I think it started at about 8,500 was what its MSRP was, if I recall it correctly, and that would be 17,000. Well, this is at 18,000, so it's appreciated slightly more. But I honestly think that's kind of lost in the noise at this point. That's what I think.
Okay, but if they both became asset classes, right, which is a real thing to think about, wouldn't the 6000 Pro supplies disappear much faster than the 5090?
Well, okay, so hold on a second. If it becomes an asset class, you have to look to see how it trades. That would be like saying because gas became an asset class, which it is, or not gas, but oil became an asset class, therefore it's going to run at a higher cost just because it became an asset class. It's not like it's all of a sudden going to be part of the S&P 500. It's not like all of a sudden all these funds are going to have to buy this thing, which is going to drive up the price. So my point is that no, I don't necessarily think that.
But time out. Think Magic cards, right? So this is a silly example, but it's a real thing. Magic, Pokemon, whatever, right? So somebody will find a specific Magic card, right? And they'll buy all of it. They'll buy all of it.
This is not the same thing.
but the supply, the supply
It's not
isn't
the same
infinite.
thing. It's
Yeah,
not the same thing.
but
So
no,
here's the
it could
difference.
be.
Here's the difference. A magic card has nothing to do with, the price of a magic card has nothing to do with the revenue that it makes, because it doesn't make any revenue. Okay, when we're talking about the asset class, the Nvidia announcement this week is strictly an asset class that is stating how much will an H100 or a B200 make.
But you're right.
That's what
But
that
the
asset
thing is,
class is. That's all.
no. But the thing is,
There's nothing investing in the actual card itself.
but here's the thing. All it takes is one guy with a fuck ton of money, and there are plenty of these out there, who realizes AI is popular. It's not going anywhere. People want these things for AI. They could buy up a majority of the supply. Same thing with RAM, right? This is how we got to RAM.
Well,
being expensive. Nobody knows.
That's all correct. The issue issue with what you're saying is that this whole thing about this asset class announcement that was made this week has nothing to do with any of that. That already existed.
But it has
existed.
But it turned people's attention to it where it normally wouldn't have been there. Like, look at RAM. Can we quantify how much RAM makes per hour? No, but it's fucking 4x in price because nobody can get it and people need it. So, like, the RTX 6000 Pro, if the supply goes to zero, right? Which it could, because someone could buy it all up. It doesn't matter how much it will make. If people need it, they have to pay for it. Then here we are.
Right. I mean, I hear what you're saying, like I said, but again, none of that has to do with like I said, that asset class that was announced. All of everybody already knew all of that. Now, does that put all of this more in the news? Maybe a little bit more. But I honestly don't think it's going to have a substantial effect. What is having a substantial effect is the announcement of a couple weeks ago, and now it's finally trickling down, is the price increase that Nvidia had, the second price increase in a very short period of time.
Well, have you ever seen an asset class have a supply shock and a demand shock at the same time?
Yes. It's called mining.
Okay. and then mining ended. Is AI look, so here's the thing about mining. Mining ended because a bunch of nerds made an EIP that said fuck miners, right? Right. Is that going to happen in AI?
I don't believe so, but hang on a second. There is another side to this that everybody needs to think about. Is, first of all, with all of this focus on investment, the idea was, for the reason why Nvidia did this was to encourage additional investment to speed up the deployments. That's what this was all about. Okay. So right now, as home AI people, we're benefiting from the fact that they can't roll out stuff fast enough. So where are they going to go when they run out of capacity? Well, some people go to us because right now it's, supply and demand. They've got a good amount of supply, but they got a ton of demand. So for corporations and such, so they can afford, the hyperscalers can afford to charge a shit ton of money for those people that are looking for, maybe don't need all that performance, or maybe they're just looking to test the deployment or something like that. Yeah. Then they're going to go to somebody like, go to neoclouds, which, I would say Vast.ai is kind of in that realm, at lower prices. So right now, neoclouds can exist. In the future, if Nvidia gets its way and this helps speed things up, yes, demand will continue to go up, but we would be in a better position if, as home AI people, hosters, would be in a better position if this announcement never came out.
So Vertra is this guy, I can't pronounce his name, I'm not going to try. He says, rental price is set by rental demand. The value of the GPU card doubles. Rental price won't necessarily double. And I'm not saying that, right? Like, it says raising rental prices could force renters to move to cheaper GPUs. Maybe or maybe not. Like, I don't know that part. I'm not going to get into that part. But I don't think the price, I don't think the price of what a 5090 can make as far as the rental market really matters at this point, because they're profitable and their value, like, you're making money renting them. I'm making money at 20 cents. and their value is just through the roof. So like it doesn't really matter how much they make as long as they make money knowing that you can double your profit on selling
Right.
them. Like that doesn't matter.
Yeah, let me get back to the chat though. I kind
Well,
of
that's what I was doing for you.
Okay, so where's Waldo says 4,500 makes as much as a 4090. Well, not quite. I would say 4090 still makes a little bit more than the 4,500, but on Vast I'm talking about. But there aren't many on there at this point, and they are highly utilized right now. So that tells me that whoever's pricing them is pricing them too low. Yeah, that actually came out of my mouth. Somebody's pricing their GPUs too low. Somebody clip that. Anyway, yeah, Pro Series are basically 50 supers with crippled power limits. Yeah, kind of, I would say. Enable says 4 out of 8. Or if I reduce that fraction, it's a half. I'm not sure what he's saying there. My R3Y35 P6P, that's a mouthful. My 4 Pro 4000 double in price in less than 6 months. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, those things were like 1,600, 1,500, and they're 3,000 now. It's just crazy.
Wish I knew that. Would have bought one.
Swamp 7 says, yes, just built 4 rigs of 2x50 90s for clients. Oh, he just built 4 rigs of 2x50 90s for clients, have them rented for 6 months at 65 cents per hour. Nice.
So 65 cents is what, like 32 cents basically? 32 and a half per GPU?
I think he means per GPU, not per rig. I'm pretty sure that's what he means.
Do you think the reason he's getting that much more is like I have 2.5 gig internet, like, and my like I'm looking at my Vast right now. They're all of them are at 19 up, 2,000 down, or like 1.9 gig up, 2 gig down, and they're not all rented right now. Like I only have 1 out of the 3 rented.
Right. You haven't been doing it that long. That does have an effect.
They're all 99%.
The longer you've been doing this, the more people know your host number, the easier it is to get rented.
That's fair.
So that's the reason why I am making more than I used to make on all of my GPUs. So not making as much as Swamp 7 thinks I should be making, but that's neither here nor there. And so he's making that because he's renting direct. He's renting direct to a customer. You're always going to make more if you can rent direct to a customer.
Probably.
Because the customer at that point, they don't want to go through. They know that they can just come to you and say, you need to fix this. A customer who is running spot prices on Vast, if anything goes wrong, they're not getting an immediate response, or because then Vast has to get a hold of the host person, and that host person may be at work and won't be responsive right away. There's a lot of different things that can happen. So anyway,
do you think so? Here's something interesting. My DDR5 rig is getting a lot more rentals than my DDR4 rigs. Do you think that matters?
I don't know. I didn't think so, but I have not noticed that.
I noticed it. Like my DDR5 rig, it has like almost 100% utilization. The rest of them are floating between 60 and 80, depending on the given day or time.
Interesting. I mean, well, if given if a customer is coming in and saying, I want to rent, and I can rent this one, has 15090, has 64 gig of RAM, and it's got DDR5, but I can rent something else that has all the same specs except it has DDR4. Well, I'll rent the one that has DDR5. Why not? So yeah, in that case, just from a spec perspective, yeah, people are, everything else being equal, yeah, they're going to rent the one with DDR5, I would think.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely interesting. All right, you got me for 30 more minutes, and I got to go do some The World's Gonna End content. So 30 more minutes you got me.
So I'm trying to catch up, guys.
Honestly, we covered. I was like scrolling through. We covered the good stuff. Like the stuff they're talking about now is probably.
Well, I know one person had said, hey, can you cover the and I don't remember who it was, but somebody had said something about covering the 48 gig upgrade. So yeah, there's a guy, GPU something or another. His name's Greg. Is actually the one that Level 1 Tech used. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's gone through like how he does the upgrades, all the equipment he has to get it done. So it's as good as it could possibly be. There's certainly some risk. I haven't read through all the
You
I
get a
don't want to say
repair guy.
contract because it's not a contract, but the warranty basically. But what he does is he will get it. He'll test your GPU, make sure your GPU tests okay. Then once he's done testing stress testing the GPU, then he can be confident that the core and the memory are good. So then when he takes the core and the memory off, puts it on the new PCB along with the additional RAM, then he stress tests that. And once that is tested out good, then he's going to send you the product. At least as I understand it. But
I can tell you from experience, so I can repair on an order of magnitude more than 99% of people. Yet I'm a simp compared to these guys, but I can do it.
Well, yeah, because they got to reball the CPU, the processor.
I've reballed memory before, not a core, but I can tell you that these guys who do this on a regular basis, talking to my guy, they know what they're doing, and you can be about as certain as anything that these guys can do it. Like I would trust these guys over the guys who do it in the factories. Honestly, they're that good.
So Swamp 7 says AI is so much more important than any or all crypto projects. I can live without it. I can't live without it. I would be lost if I have to write my own emails ever again. It's not going away or slowing down anytime soon. Oh, so what you're basically saying is it's dumbing you down because you can't write your own emails anymore, and you used to be able to write your own emails.
Gem. So I wanted to bring this up real quick. Gem 9424 said once the surge for hardware slows, the stock market will crash and we'll go into a depression. He's wrong. You couldn't be so wrong. Look, here's the thing. We're so far up. I was talking to my advisor today or 2 days ago. We're so far up. If we had a depression level crash, you're talking like 50% of the value wiped out. Everybody who's been in the market would be so far up still that there wouldn't be a crash. We would just figure out a way to put more money in. Like the market is so far.
So I would say here's the thing. What defines a depression versus a recession? And there's never really I've never heard of a specific definition of what do you cross over in order to get to a depression. A recession is coming, in my opinion. The bubble will burst to a certain extent.
Sure.
If you look at whenever we've had these very large advances in technology, whether it was the railroads back in the 1800s, whether it was the industrial age around the Depression, whether it was the dot-com bubble, the telecom bubble, housing crisis was a little bit different, but all of these were technological advances where there were significant recessions that happened as a result. Did we come out of them? Yeah, we came out of them. I don't think this is going to really be much different. It's all a matter of how bad is the recession/depression going to be and how long will it last. That's the big thing. And the scary part is, and this is where it really has nothing to do with the technology, it's just going to kind of go along with it, is interest rates and the debt. That's where things could get completely out of control, with being in kind of a Brazilian type of economy of the old days when inflation was completely out of control. If you look at and really what we're getting to is, are we going to get to stagflation like we had in the 70s? And in the 70s, Volcker came in and caused pain because he had to. In order for him to get the economy under control, he had to raise interest rates to crazy levels. He had to. He did not have a choice. And it caused a lot of unemployment as a result. So if we have a Fed that will be so bold, I think that's what they're going to have to do. Now, I don't think they'll have to go to the 12, 13, 14% that Volcker went to, but will he have to go to, historically high interest rates of, 8 to 9%? Yeah. He may.
Well,
Or
like,
they may just decide to say, no, we're not going to raise interest rates. We're going to let the value of the dollar crash versus versus the rest of the world, so that our goods are so much cheaper, and that's how we're going to come out of it. And by depreciating the value of the dollar, it makes our debt a lot less expensive to repay in the future, I guess. I don't know. I've heard a lot of different ways, but either way, I would say 2029, 2030, those are going to be some difficult years. So make the best of this year and next year. That's my thought.
but here's the interesting thing, right? You have people with so much money that they can't even invest it fast enough, right? And then you have the other half who's barely scraping by. And like I was reading something that was a little scary, where it's like 30% of the people are doing 70% of the spending, but they can't spend fast enough. So like, does it just keep? I mean, something's got to give, right? But like, this is weird, because when was the last time you saw an economy that was so K-shaped? Really? Like, when was the last time you saw this?
Well, I mean, somebody's actually mentioning it. 2001. I lived through it as well. I'll tell you a story at the end. I have a kind of interesting story about my 2001 story and where I went after it, and it's
Yeah, but if these
it's
people
mildly entertaining, so I think you guys will like it. But I will tell that story at the end.
But like, if these people are so far up, right? Like, if you're so say half of your net worth gets wiped out, but you're still up a shit ton, and the wealthy survive this next big thing that happens. What happens then?
Well, it's not about what the wealthy do, because we know the wealthy will be fine. What it is the working class. What are they going to do? And the thing is that when this happens, there will be people being laid off. People will stop buying. The more unemployment goes up, the less goods will be needed, and other people will get laid off. It becomes a cycle. This is not the first time we've been through that. We would be through this rodeo, and the economy is cyclical. We always go through recessions. The last recession we had was in the year 2000, which was kind of an artificial recession because of the pandemic. So
2020, you saying?
Yeah, 2020. Didn't I say 2020?
No, you said 2000.
Oh, yeah, I meant 2020. So it's been 6.5 years since that was since that one started.
Shit, I'd say we were in one in 2022.
We were not technically in a okay. Recession is let's put it this way. It was such a mild recession that it was a blip. That's what I'm saying. So technically, yes, I agree with you. Under normal measures of a recession, which is negative GDP for 2 quarters, which we had for only 2 quarters and barely negative, then yes, it absolutely should have been called a recession. Don't even get me started on that. But here's the thing. Why do you think, let me ask you this. Why do you think they didn't want to call it a recession?
Well, we know why. Nobody's stupid.
No, people will say it's political. It's not political. It's because when somebody says the word recession and that we're in a recession, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, that's what. No, I know.
Okay. Well, a lot of people make it political, like, oh, because the president and his cabinet don't want to be associated with a recession. Well, while that is true, that's not really the reason. The reason is that nobody wants to say the R word, even when it's like apparent, because then people go, oh, what, we're in a recession. We better stop. We better not spend any more money, because they get into that mode. That's normal human behavior, and so nobody wants to say the R word because they know that will cause that human behavior to happen, which will make it worse.
Something different this time around is, if you look at the gig economy, the side hustles, shit, I got fucking 3 extra side hustles. Like, so many people have so many side hustles right now. Like, think of how many people are actually legitimately employed, like the way you would think in even the 2000s. Like,
okay,
Uber's technically not a job. Like, all of this is like I'm just saying, like, I would almost wonder if, like, because people are not always employed in the traditional way, especially with AI coming for certain, jobs. Like, don't you think that a recession might be different going forward than what we used to see in the past?
Every recession is different, but I don't think that you know the people that you know, and I know the people that I know, but
Sure.
I can tell you that when like the people I work with, none of them have a side. Well, I should say very few of them have a side hustle.
But you're old. I'm
Very
young. You're
You,
old.
wait, hang on a second. I work in a warehouse, dude. Do you think I work with all old people?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No,
You know I don't.
that's fair.
So no, and you talk, they come to work and then they blow their paychecks and come in the next
Jem
week.
said,
And I shouldn't say blow their paychecks. They live paycheck to paycheck. That's what I meant.
so Jem said, I didn't get a master's degree to work a side hustle. Bro, your master's degree is gonna be worthless in a few years.
I have a master's degree and I have a side hustle, guys.
College is absolutely like these poor bastards that are going to college right now are so fucked. Like college is gonna be borderline worthless in 10 years. Everybody going to trade schools again.
Swam 7, how old am I? Do you know how old I am?
I know.
I know I've mentioned it before. I just didn't know if he actually knew as a fact or if he was just trolling me again. I thought Swam 7 was older than
Jem
that.
says everyone who doesn't go to college bangs on it. I went to college. I could have gotten a doctorate for free, and I turned it down. And my wife has a doctorate. Now she makes more money than me now, but I made more money than her for the longest time. Like I'm telling you,
there are lots of ways that you can make a lot of money.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying college isn't the spot on like right now, if my son was college age and said, Dad, I want to go to college, I don't know what I want to do, I'd send his ass to a trade school.
Doombots, I can definitely assure you it is not a retirement warehouse, that's for sure. Oh man.
I don't know, man.
It's a warehouse that is hopping right now.
The way you tell me about how that place chews up and spits out employees, it might be a retirement warehouse.
No, it's not. It's actually doing a lot better now, actually, believe it or not.
I know you're
just giving me shit.
I'm just saying, like college.
No, not ish, Swamp 7, not ish, but yeah, that's the number.
You're not that. Are you that old? I thought you were younger than that.
No, it's the hair.
God,
everybody thinks I look younger because of the hair. You got to look at the neck. The neck tells all.
Hold on. Now that your hip's not broken, I'm gonna drag you out to one of those after parties this year, and I'm gonna see. How long you last.
No, you're not going to get me wrecked because I know how to control my liquor, and I will not drink more than I am capable of, which is not.
I don't know, man. You get the right people. I saw some old people in Taiwan.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people like to drink. I will drink a little bit, but I'm not going to drink a lot.
I saw a lot of people say that, and they were getting carried out.
Well, that may be. Well, I will tell you that I have. That has happened to me. No, I haven't had that actually happen to me. But yeah, I've drank more than I should have in my life. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, everybody has. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but good portion of the population has done that. I will not do that again. I will not do that again.
I'm not saying that college is worthless. I mean, I don't know. I think my college was worthless. I made lifelong friends, so it was cool. But I don't use my degree. But like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go to college, go for STEM. Go for like science, math, technology. Not even technology anymore. Go for science and math. Honestly, I don't even know about math.
So there are plenty of things that you can not go to college for and actually do very well. But the problem is that the people hiring for things that really didn't require college in the first place still have in the description bachelor degree required, even though a bachelor's degree should not be required for the job. Period. Right. So, but the point is that we haven't moved past the point where we look at certain jobs and you're like, why would you need a bachelor's degree to do this job? Like, and you're not even specifying what bachelor's degree, just that you need a bachelor's degree. If you can't specify, and I've seen it a bunch of times, it's like, well, you need a bachelor's degree in engineering, business, this, that. Like, none of that has anything to do with one another, and each one of them hits on a certain piece of this job. But how can you have knowledge in one section and no knowledge in the other? So if any of those sections you don't need a bachelor's degree in, then you don't need a bachelor's degree in any of them to do this job. So I don't know. I think there are so many things that was right in like the 40s and 50s where people weren't going to college because they got educated in the companies that they went to work for, and they moved up in the company because the companies helped educate them. And I think we've gone away from that. Certainly, there were plenty of wrong things that were in the 30s and 40s and 50s that I don't want to go back to. But I'm saying from that standpoint of people who worked for a certain company for a really long time, and companies would invest in their people, I think that's missing. And I'd really like to see that part come back. Now you have all of these like boot camps and this, that, and the other thing, or people educating themselves, which is great. And so it makes them capable of doing the jobs, but there's only a certain amount of corporations that are actually evaluating somebody for what their capabilities are versus what they're putting in their job descriptions. I can't tell you how many people I've seen, like they do a GitHub, so they get noticed because of what they've put on their GitHub, or certifications that they have done, and then they network through some society or something like that, and they work on a project for something, pro bono, basically just doing it as a volunteer, and that shows their capabilities, and then they get a job that way. So there are plenty of other ways to get around the standard job descriptions, but still it's a lot harder than it should be.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's a while. We could go on that debate forever. And like Jem said, won't AI take STEM jobs? And it's like, you could say that I don't want a fucking machine operating on me versus a person. You go round and round, and we'll end up at the same point we were. But it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy coming up. And I feel like GPUs always lead to economy talk because they're so closely tied to the economy. How did we get here? How did we get to the point where we're like, the fact that we are having a serious discussion and we've got 40 plus people watching us have a discussion about how economics relates to graphics cards. You remember when people said $50 or a $1,600 3090 was offensive? God, I wish we could go back in time and buy a stock in Nvidia. Jesus.
Oh, I know. You think about it. There's so many things that, everybody's like, oh, I wish I could go back in time. I could buy a lottery ticket. Well, that's true.
No, I just buy Nvidia stock. Shit.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of things. You could buy Apple even earlier than that. Buy Amazon even earlier than that. I mean, there's lots of things.
I think right now though, like I think you're gonna, like, there's so many discussion points to talk about, like where you think the rental market's gonna go, the GPU economics, scale. Like, I'm gonna do so many videos on this shit, honestly.
So two things I want to respond to. So Swamp 7, yes, you have SOC 2 compliance. Yeah, you have a lot of things. So you're basically like a data center. That's the reason why you can get a lot higher rentals than us. I don't want to say noobs. That's not exactly, but I can't think of the term. But yeah, us that don't have that capability. Doom Boots says tech field degrees help, but they don't mean crap compared to certs. True. But what they do tell people, if you have a tech degree, it means generally you're pretty good at solving problems. If you were able to get an engineering degree, that means during your schooling you had to figure things out, and that's what they're looking for. So all right, let me see. See if there was anything else. Let's see. I got the chain stubbed online, or the intent to file. Okay, I think you guys are talking about something specific that I didn't. Not going to try to catch up on at this point.
Hey, hold on. You can catch up in a sec. I'm out in 2 minutes. I gotta hard cap myself. You got anything else you want?
Oh, by the way, so thanks for that, Vertex. Thanks for that. We run tier 5 data centers. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And it's funny because did somebody notice that I actually was wearing the t-shirt? I guess maybe somebody did. Maybe when I went to go turn on the light, I suppose. But that's funny you brought that up. I do have one person that bought the t-shirt. So whoever that was, thank you. I think I made like $1.90 off of it or something. It's I don't make much off of it, so it's not a big deal. But nice to see that somebody actually liked it. It means my efforts weren't put completely to waste.
No, cool. But
So,
seriously, you
but
got
hey,
anything else?
thanks for joining. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was a good talk. We have to you and I have to discuss things later on this week. I got to bug you for some stuff on my future data center wannabe crap.
If you want to talk, we should probably talk early tomorrow if you can.
No, I can't this weekend. Just I'll hit you up when I can.
Okay. Well, you know, when I drive to and from work, that's the best time to get me.
So real quick, crypto, whatever, I can't pronounce his name, said you said that at the start, you know, the VRAM will get that much worse. Is that anything you can share? Yeah, I can share this real quick. I talked to somebody who will remain anonymous, basically said the hope that you saw at Computex was basically the Chinese companies that were starting to make RAM. Everyone thought that they would undercut the conglomerate of bullshit to just get themselves on the market, sell a ton of RAM, and ease the prices. They basically were like, no, we want to play at this level because you're going to buy our RAM anyway.
Right.
So that kind of killed sentiment. And I guess with the price, you know, I guess when the sentiment got negative, it snowballed. And it's going to be really, really bad. And nobody will go on the record saying it or go close to the record in the RAM companies. And if they won't talk positively, then that means that they're hiding because they know shit and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So if I would tell you this, that 2027 is going to suck so much worse than 2026 in terms of VRAM. And yeah, I'll leave you with that.
Well, thank you for that so uplifting last message to tell us. But it is the truth. It is the truth.
Max and I will be on the ground at CES, which will be the next time everybody gets together. And hopefully I'll hear more, and hopefully Max will hear some stuff with me. And if we're both really quiet, then you can take a guess on how bad things are going to get.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we'll talk to you later.
Later,
right,
bye. Peace. Have fun.
Thanks. All right, give me a second. I'm going to switch back to the other scene. All right, I'm back on this scene. And let me close off on this one. There we go. Okay, so as I promised, I was going to tell a little story at the end from 2001. So, as you know, it was pretty much late 90s. It was like 1999 was when the dot-com bust happened. But 2001 was when the telecom bust happened. There were a lot of things that were happening, including like Lucent doing similar to what Nvidia is doing, by the way, where they were selling products to customers, but lending them the money to buy. In other words, they weren't getting revenue for it. The companies were supposed to make payments and they didn't. But that's kind of what started the trend. But where I was affected was Comcast was buying out AT&T broadband. AT&T broadband, I worked for Telebs at the time. This is over 20 years ago. So I don't even care. I shouldn't matter what I'm going to tell you guys. But anyway, so AT&T broadband was getting bought out by Comcast. And so when anybody's getting bought out, they are looking to increase their cash flow. Well, how do you increase cash flow? You stop buying anything. So they were about a little over 40% of our revenue, in our, so we were, cable telephony. Okay. So, this is back when, using a wired phone over your cable was a thing, and growing quite a bit. And so, like I said, 18 broadband was my account. And all of a sudden they went from buying 855 HDTs to 0. So there were two of us who were marketing managers at the time. And so one of us had to go, and I was the guy who had to go. They put me on international. And then there had already been 2 layoffs from our division. The company, prior to the 3rd layoff, decided that it was going to change from a product group organization to a functional organization. Why do you think they did that? Funny how they were able to avoid the WARN Act, because our group was the only one getting affected. Their Cross Connect group was not getting affected at all at that point. Eventually they would, but at that point they were unaffected. So anyway, so they did that before the third layoff. So we all pretty much knew that a third layoff was coming, as well as probably ones after that too. And I thought I was going to be part of the third layoff, but then they decided to send me to Europe on a business trip. I'm like, okay, guess I'm not going to get affected. So there was a particular person that I was talking to that week along with my trip to Europe. And in the second to last conversation, we were talking about saying, yeah, I must be okay. I must be safe. I thought I was maybe going to be affected by this, but they sent me. So why would they send me on a multi-$1,000 trip when they're trying to save money? That wouldn't make sense. Or so I thought. So I'm literally out there to make new relationships with the people in the offices so that when I come back, I can work better with them. That's the whole reason for my trip. Makes no sense, but whatever. So then the last conversation I have with this person is like 8 o'clock on, no, it's 5 o'clock on Friday evening in Munich. I had just come back because I finished my day at work and then went out and bought souvenirs for my kids and my wife. And I come back and I had to have a quick meeting with somebody, like a midday meeting. And when I had that conversation, the person's like, remember we were talking about earlier? I said, yeah. He says, well, it's the opposite. I'm like, you mean bad opposite? And like, yes, that's exactly what I mean. I'm like, I can't be misinterpreting this, right? And like, no, you cannot. And you have to understand, there was a lot of worry about people like thinking that the phones were tapped. It was that bad. Dick Nodebart was the CEO at that point, and he was pitting people against. He basically made a really good company to work for a really bad company to work for. He, not a good person. Let's just put it that way. In my understanding of kind of what he did to Tell Labs, yeah, not good. Mike Burke was awesome. Anyway, so at that point, I started making phone calls. I called my boss. I called my boss's boss. I called other people that were in my department. Nobody was answering. And not that the other people that I called probably wouldn't have known anything anyway. My boss or my boss's boss should have known. So I called the VP. Rich Tatera actually was his name. Called him, and he actually answered the phone. I expected to get his assistant. No, she had been laid off that day too, which he told me. So I said, I just need to know, am I laid off? And he starts to go through the spiel. I said, don't bother, Rich. I said, I have to go through it with HR. Appreciate you letting me know. And he's like, I just want to let you know, 3 weeks ago, I went to Jeff, who was my director, my boss's boss, and said, I want to move Scott back to where he was in the Cross Connect group. And Jeff said, nope, can't do it. Can't afford to lose his head count. And he was like, isn't his job probably going to be let go in the next? He's like, yeah, but I can't afford to lose him for 3 weeks. So I got laid off because my boss's boss was a selfish pig. Anyway, so it gets more interesting from here. So anyway, so he tells me all of this. So I'm flying back. I fly back on Saturday. My car's at the airport. I drive from the airport directly to Tell Labs in Bolingbrook, because that was before they moved to Naperville, and tried to get in the door. They'd already turned off my key card. So I walked around to the front. It was a Saturday, probably figured there wasn't a receptionist there, which there wasn't. Key card didn't work there either. So then I walked back around and noticed somebody who worked in the lab was walking in. So I changed my cadence a little bit to make sure that I could get in behind that person. And we recognize one another, but we don't know each other. But again, you recognize faces without knowing who they were. So he didn't think anything of letting me in the building. And I did have a backup plan of somebody else in the organization that they would never have guessed who it was. Because there's a possibility that person would have come in on a Saturday. So anyway, so I got in, cleaned out my desk, and left with all my stuff. So I didn't have to come in to do the walk of shame on Monday. So anyway, so I call HR on Monday. And on Monday, when I called, they were like, so I called and said, hey, I've been laid off. What do I need to know? They're like, huh? What do you mean you've been laid off? I'm like, okay. So rumor got around. I was on a business trip this whole week. Rumor got around. I called Rich Tatera. He told me that I was laid off. So didn't come in today. So I just calling you. What do I need to know? Hold on a second. They go back and they're like, yeah, you're right. You were laid off. Today was to be your last day. I'm like, okay, so what do I need to know? So I don't remember exactly what the three things were, but there were 3 things they told me. And I'm like, okay, cool. And one of the things that I explicitly wanted to ask, because I had the department's LED projector, the only one. So I asked them, when do you need my stuff back? That was the specific words I used. When do you need my stuff back? She assumed that meant my computer. That's on her, not on me. She's like, well, whenever you decide to sign the release is fine. I said, well, that's fine. I said, I'm wondering if you guys might have violated the WARN Act. So I am going to consult an attorney. So it's going to be a while. She's like, that's fine. She's like, no problem. I had 3 weeks vacation, so I was getting paid vacation during those 3 weeks anyway. So I was in absolutely no rush to get my severance. That was part of the deal. Anyway, so then about an hour later, I get a call from Jeff, my director, and he's like, hey, we need to talk. I said, let me guess. This one, I've been laid off, and 1, 2, and 3. That about it? He said, yes. And I hung up on him. That was the last conversation I had with that MFer. Anyway, when somebody basically is so selfish that he doesn't allow you to keep a job when the company wants to keep you, but you are the obstacle because you're too worried about yourself. Yeah, you're the problem. You are definitely the problem. Anyway, so I went, consulted an attorney, all that. I find out later that week that my lunch buddies are all being like given the 3rd degree, given the Spanish Inquisition about which one of them let me in the building. And so I left a nasty message for him. And I said, do you really think that little of me, that I would put my friends in jeopardy by making one of them let me in the building? Seriously. I was like, no, none of them, the people you are talking about, let me in the building. It was somebody from the lab who didn't know who I was, but he recognized my face. I recognized his face, but he had no way of knowing that I had been laid off. So stop bothering them. Of course, I had to leave it on a voicemail message because he's a coward and wouldn't answer his phone. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm letting the time go by. Got word from somebody that he was pretty upset that he was without the projector. I'm like, good. That just gives me more motivation to not return it. So then finally the 3 weeks is running out. So I'm like, yeah, probably just be done with it and sign it. So I get a call the day I'm about ready to call them. And the person from HR is all nasty. Like, when are you going to turn your stuff? I'm like, hold on. Where is this coming from? When we talked, you said there is absolutely no rush in returning the stuff. So where is this coming from? She's like, well, you have the LED projector for the department. I said, yeah. Never said I didn't. She's like, well, they need it back. I'm like, okay, that's not my fault. You said that there was no worry. And now all of a sudden you're getting on my case. What gives? Well, are you going to give it back? I said, well, I was actually thinking about giving you guys a call today. So yeah, I can meet you. She's like, when are you going to bring it down to Bolingbrook? I said, oh, no. Not bringing it to Bolingbrook. I'm going to bring it to the closest facility and you can meet me there. I said, I'm going to Lyle. I'm not driving all the way to Bolingbrook. So that's where I'm dropping it off. So who should I be giving it to? She's like, I'll meet you there. I said, fine. So I dropped it off. But anyway, it was, yeah, really, really nice when some, oh, and the part I left out, by the way, was I helped Jeff get to the position he was in. He brought me over from the Cross Connect group. We were in Network Solutions, and Network Solutions was management, basically management systems, like element management systems, network management systems. But in our case, it was element management systems, and we had a good product, but our marketing people didn't know how to sell it. I did. And I was brought in to be a product manager, but when the product that I was to manage was not ready for prime time, and they're kind of like, well, what are we going to do with you now that we brought you in to manage this product? They're like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be the marketing manager for these two segments. Secondary, I forget what it's called, CLEX. Local exchange carriers is what the LEC C stood. I can't remember what it's, the basic local exchange carriers were the big ones, like Ameritech and Southwest Bell and all that. These were like the next ones, like the MCIs of the world. So anyway, so CLEX and wireless, and I helped like grow that group. They were selling like $1 million, and when I came in that next year, we sold like 5 million. Again, in the grand scheme of things, not a huge amount, but a huge growth. And they were focused on the growth. So then they took Jeff based upon that success, moved him over to this other group. And then 6 months later, he's like, yeah, I want you to come over to help me over here. You did really good for me while you were there. And I was doing good things for him. I was managing his most difficult customer. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, I also forgot. Yeah. At one point he said, told everybody in a meeting, said, shut up and keep your head down. Kid you not. That was the instructions he gave to the department. Shut up and keep your head down. Yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy. Anyway, in a way, I guess I could kind of thank him, because then I got into mortgages and made way more money doing mortgages over the next 3 years than I would have made staying at Tellabs. But at the same time, that also got me out of a career that I was never able to get back into. And over the next 20 years, I have made way less money than I would have made if I had been able to stay in that career. So that short term of making a lot of money in mortgages was nice at the time, but it really hurt the rest of my career. Unfortunately, I was never able to get back to the same level. I'm honestly making less now than I made in the year 2000. So yeah. So anyway, that's a little story of I'm sure we're going to start hearing more and more of these types of stories. The nice thing about it is we'll actually have recordings of them. Like, you've seen these layoff videos. So it certainly will make companies think twice about how they lay somebody off. Because they could lash out at these people that are getting laid off and say, you didn't have permission to record this, and sick a lawyer on them. And then the person's like, look, now they're sicking a lawyer on me because I recorded the layoff, and they don't like the fact that it makes them look bad. And that just makes them look worse. So I don't know, obviously with technology these days, it'll be a much different environment when people start to get laid off. So, anyway, Iota Pi, having just gotten through getting laid off, I fully understand this situation. It sucks, man. It sucks. It's always usually a gut punch. Yeah, it's a gut punch. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm thankful to have what appears to be a pretty stable job. Yeah. So I am thankful for that. Everybody always needs to eat food. I'm in a food grade warehouse. Everybody needs to feed their pets. So the products that our warehouse manages aren't going anywhere. They're still going to be needed. So All right, let's see. They can hold or claw back your severance. They certainly can't hold or claw back. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, at that point they could. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, when Giant Bicycles let me go because guy came over from sales manager came over from Specialized and became the basically VP of sales. I forget exactly what his title was, but he started bringing over all the salespeople from Specialized, so he had to make up shit as to why he wanted to get rid of people, so that it was so they weren't sued for you know, false termination, wrongful termination. Definitely could have done that. Yeah, it was the one thing I will say is when I was let go from Giant, the guy's name was Scott. I really respect him. He, as difficult as it was, he was given his marching orders. So he fulfilled his marching orders. And when we were to go, he said, if you need a reference, do not hesitate to call. Do not hesitate to contact me. And this is after we'd been through a bunch of shit where I was pissed, you know, but at the very end, that's what he said, even though I wasn't making his life very easy because I didn't want to make his life very easy because I was pissed, not really pissed at him. I was pissed at Giant, but I took it out on him. But he's still, even though I did that, he still said that at the end. So there are still, in hard situations, there are good people that even in the midst of everything else. So, and I'm pretty sure he did help me get my next job. I am pretty sure that he put in a good word for me, and that's kind of how I got it. I think. Can't say for sure. It was never like confirmed or anything, but pretty sure he had something to do with that. So anyway, but yeah, good times. I mean, that was like I said, that was my first ever layoff. So that one was a huge, huge gut punch. And you have to understand that that was at the end of August of 2001. We all know what happened on September 11th in 2001. I will not say it's the proudest moment of my life, but when I saw the second plane hit the building, hit the second twin tower, I knew what that meant. I knew that meant horrible things for the economy. And literally that's where my brain went. And I was like, I am so fucked. So fucked. Yeah, I'm never going to find a job. But that's what caused interest rates to drop like they did and created a huge boom for mortgages. And so that's where I ended up. So ended up being able to support my family and, yeah. All righty. Well, Iota Pi, I'm happy to say I signed with a new company this week. We'll start August 24th. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So happy for you. Gem 9424 can't wait for my layoff email. It's funny you mentioned that because, you know, warehouses go through different things. So let's just say that, yeah, that thought had gone through my mind at one point. Like, you know, if they let me go, I've now got enough side income that I could focus on my YouTube channel and affiliate earnings and really focus on all that and still be able to make ends meet pretty easily, I would think. And so, yeah, the thought has crossed my mind, like, would it be so bad if they, you know, let me go, and if a company let me go and then gave me severance or whatever, would that be so bad? Anyway, it's fun to think about. Anyway, let's see. I got a meeting invite with my boss's boss on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. I knew immediately what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and on mine, when I was let go, well, when I was basically let go from Giant, they put me under a PIP after having my best numbers, like it was the 5th highest growth numbers in the company of salespeople. We had like between 25 and 30 salespeople, and I was in the top 5 of them. for the year for percentage of growth. The Chicago area had a bad sales rep before me, and I had to bring it out of a dive and get it going back up. And it was in a good trajectory, a really good trajectory. It was still challenging, but good trajectory. And then all of a sudden I'm getting this message. I'm in the car driving, and I'm getting a message of that I'm being on this PIP, and here are all the things that I'm going to be required to do. I need to sign up 5 new dealers in the next month. You have to understand, you never want to sign up that many dealers in a territory in that short of a period of time, because you will piss off all of your dealers. Because if you have a relatively full distribution, which I did, bringing in that many dealers all at once, and they know this, they basically set unattainable, absolutely unattainable goals. So it was completely false pretense, all that. Funny thing was, as much as I did like Scott, I didn't think he was really good with the customers, with the dealers. He actually got us kicked out of a store, of a dealer that really liked me, and he got us kicked out. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He actually called me after I was finally let go, and he's like, I'm just going to drop giant. I said, hey, hang on. You need to do what's right for your business. If that is a drop giant, that's fine, but don't do it because of me. Don't do it out of loyalty to me. I appreciate that. I really do, but don't do it because of that. So it wasn't that short. I think it was like about 8 months, I think, after that, he did drop giant. But anyway, it was, he said, I didn't even say it was one of our carbon frames, and our carbon frame was missing a weep hole. So carbon frames will have a weep hole where any like condensation or anything that gets in the frame has the ability to go out a hole at the bottom of the frame. Well, this was missing that. And so the solution that Giant Taiwan came up with was put together a template and drill a hole into your carbon frame. Okay. If you ever had a carbon bike, the last thing you're really thinking you're going to want to do is drill a hole in the frame and void your warranty. So he's like, I ain't doing that. I'll send them back to you so you can do them. So you guys can send them back to me after you guys drill the holes, but I ain't drilling the holes. And the company never agreed to do that. So he's like, I'm never buying another carbon bike from you guys because of this. So anyway, that happened like a year and a half ago. So when we went into that dealer, I coached Scott on, this is what he's going to bring up. It's a year and a half ago, but it still burns his britches that this happened at all. He does not let me forget it. Pretty much every other time I come in, it's brought up, either jokingly or seriously, but I managed to get him off it. And we managed to continue to grow the business. But if he brings this up, do not antagonize him, please. So he said, so when I told him about that, his response was, that's bullshit. And I said, do not say that to him. You will set him off and it'll be bad. So I still laugh to this day. So it happens literally exactly as I said, almost word for word. It was like I was Nostradamus or something. I just know the guy. And it went exactly as I said. So it got to the point where Scott was required to make a response. And instead of saying that's bullshit, he said, that's petty. I was like, oh God, that's worse. And it set him off. And he just started yelling at him. Just yelling at him. And then I still laugh at this. Okay, you have to understand, this bike shop is in Chicago. Okay? In the north side of town, a good side of town, but still Chicago. And Scott said, hey, let's take this outside. Okay. In Chicago, when you tell somebody, let's take this outside, it is not to continue the conversation. It's to escalate it. So I just like my freaking jaw hit the ground. That's what they said. And it did. And the guy, the bike shop owner, his jaw was, he was just flabbergasted that this is what the guy said. And he just looked at him and said, get out right now. And he said, don't ever come back. And I'm like, great. That's just great. I'm not going to be working here very much longer, but that's great. That means maybe he won't ever want me to come back in. And as I'm walking out, he's like, Scott, you can come back. I mean, and he knew it meant me. And so now you guys know my real name. But anyway, yeah. So I was like somewhat relieved in that. And then after we're done, he's like chuckling about it. I'm like, you don't understand. He holds a grudge. This is not going to be good for us here. Well, you know, we got other dealers we go into. I'm like, oh my God, you have no idea how much I've worked and what his business has grown a lot. I said, so now you're just kind of discounting what I've done with this dealer. Anyway, but yeah, we got kicked out of a dealership because I told him exactly what was going to happen, and it did. And he still screwed it up. Anyway. Funny thing was, he wasn't at Giant much longer after that either. Not because he got let go, just because he made a change in career path. So for his benefit. So anyway, but it has been 3 hours. So I think I'm going to call it a night. This has been a long stream. 40 of you guys stayed with me. I appreciate that. Let me quickly go over the chat really quickly. I think that was Iota Pi says that's slimy. Now they just lay you off. The unemployment money is terrible. It's like $365 a month. The work to get that money is stupid. I will tell you, I know people on unemployment, and it's a lot more than $365 a month, at least in Illinois. Depends on how much you make, I'm sure, is part of it. But yeah, people I know that were making unemployment were like around a little over $2,500 a month. But again, it was on the higher end side, I guess. I worked for an automotive company in 2022 that sent every salary employee in a plant to a warn letter, probably 500 people. Well, you know, I'll at least give them that. At least they didn't try to get around warn. So for those people that don't know, warn is a law. I forget what it stands for. It has actually an acronym. But basically what it says is if you lay off a certain percentage of people at a company or division, that you are required to give 2 months additional severance than what you would have normally given. So in other words, if they had already set the precedent with the first and the second layoff, what the normal severance was, what the formula was. So they would have had to have given an additional 2 months severance to everybody in the third layoff. This is again, going back to Tellabs, if they had not reorganized. By the way, when I went to the lawyer basically said there's been 2 cases that have gone to court with this. One of them won and one of them lost. You are more on the side of the one that won, but bottom line is don't waste your time with this. Don't waste your life with this. Just move on. It was the recommendation from this attorney that was friends with my dad. So I took that advice and didn't push it. Kind of regret that a little bit, but I understood at the time. Let's see. Then the last week before the layoff was supposed to start, the plant manager called each person one by one into his office to tell them if they were really let go or could keep their job. I think by law they have to put out a warn notice. Yes, by law they do. If the Warn Act actually applies to them, because of the amount of people being laid off. Jem says my annoyance was the manager kept 70 people on, including me. So I ended up doing the work of 5 people until I couldn't stand it anymore and quit. I wish I had gotten the layoff and severance. Yeah. there's a lot of that going on right now, actually. I know there is without letting out too much, somebody I know is trying to get a job at a certain organization, and that organization has a hiring freeze. But that organization has openings because people have left the company and the amount of work is still there. And so now the people that are there are doing the work of 2 to 3 times as many people without any change to the workload. So the people that are there are extremely unhappy because they're having to work very, very long hours that they didn't have to work before. So yes, that is becoming very, very common. IOTA, yep, I got a nice package after 23 years at Cisco. Oh, nice. Good to hear that. I didn't realize it was Cisco. And let's see, I felt like companies are daring people to quit so they don't have to pay the severance. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. You are probably not wrong. Yeah, I've been in jobs where, when I worked at T-Force, I swear that they wanted everybody to quit. Honestly, I put in so many hours there; it was just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, and I was making like nothing. I was trying to work my way back into a regular salary type job, and it helped. It got me along the train that I'm on now, so I'm almost back to what I was making in 2000. Anyway, but yeah, it got to the point where I was lucky. I was able to find another job, but basically, yeah, I felt like they were trying to get people to quit. And I was lucky enough to find another job. Let's see, avoid Stellantis and their products. Yeah, that's Chrysler, right? Yeah, I would not buy a Chrysler product ever. Never would buy a Chrysler product. There's a lot of other better vehicles out there. That's for sure. Yeah. Took 2 months to find a new job, but all worked out for the better. Pay bump and a bunch more responsibility. Ultimately, I got paid to get off my butt and do better. Yes, Stellantis is in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, plant was in your state too. Yeah, we used to have a Stellantis, a Chrysler plant in Illinois. Around it's not Rockford, but it's up that direction. I can't think of the name of the town. It starts with a B. I think it was the town that it was in, but yeah. Alrighty, well, it's been Belvedere. Thank you. Yes, I told you it started with a B. But yes, Belvedere was the town I was trying to think of. So I appreciate that. Anyway, alrighty, well, it has been definitely over 3 hours. Definitely listens to people here, and I would imagine after that amount of time. But I appreciate you guys all being here. You guys have a great evening, and thanks for checking in, IOTA Pi. I didn't say hi to you earlier, but I appreciate you being here as well. And everybody else that has been here, thank you so much. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good one, everybody.